Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There is Tammy car enthusiast and Dave's fiance, Dustin reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are Inside Movies Galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Alrighty, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Inside Movies Galore. I am one of your hosts, but today we are pretty much doing some makeup work, because we originally planned on covering this film back when we were covering some of the Askew universe a few months back, but Tammy and I had to duck out for a musical, and we had to replan it and schedule it into the nearby future, and it just so happens to be tonight. So and we also have a new guest on the show, Justin. Thanks for coming on, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do before I hand us over to the host?
Sure. All right. Well, I appreciate the invite. I'm glad to be here. I do also quite a bit of fan of movies and stuff too. So this is kind of in my vein, in my wheelhouse there. But yeah, I work quite a lot. Been working a couple of different jobs, just trying to make it like we all are. Don't have much of the spare time, but in the spare time, we have run a bunch of shows that we have. We cover a lot of things the same vein. We do a lot of movies, a lot of sports. Just got a whole network thing that we're doing. A lot of projects that we're working on. We got a lot of great people that we're working with. So I just kind of got that bug. We kind of sort of fell into sort of this on-air live entertainment bit, which still kind of surprised, because I didn't think that was going to be quite my niche at the beginning, way back when, especially when I was younger. But recently, that seemed to be the doorways kind of just open that way. So here we are, and really thrilled how things have turned out, and looking forward to what comes up in the future.
Definitely. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to hand this over to our host for the evening, because how we do this is oftentimes we choose the movies, and because we choose them, we also host them.
Okay.
So, Brandon, why don't you tell us a little bit about the movie that you subjected us to this week?
Well, this week we are actually looking at a 2022 film, rounding out the Clerks month of November, which was pretty fun overall. And as Dave said, we kind of moved it, so it's kind of edged its way into Muppet March. And we're covering the 2022 Kevin Smith film Clerks 3 to round out our Clerks month. So this is a film that stars all of our favorite clerks, with Dante and Randall at the helm once again of the Quick Stop, as Dante and Randall do their thing. Randall is confronted with his own mortality and decides he wants to make a movie about his life, and drags everybody else along with him. So this is one of those. It's an interesting film, but let's start with some first impressions. Of course, I'll have one of y'all go first, and then I'll let Justin go second so that he can get an early one, but see how we do it over here. So we'll start with, let's see. Let's start with you, Jake. Was this the first time you had seen Clerks?
No, second time. I did watch it when we were doing research for the Versus Awards a couple of years back. And honestly, this is one I would have seen anyway, but I'll admit I was a little gun shy after Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And Clerks 2 for that matter. Those two movies were a lot of fun, and Jay and Silent Bob reboot works beautifully as a fan service movie. Absolutely is a movie for the fans. There's no question about it. But they are probably two of the weakest films Smith has done in a lot of ways. So I was not prepared for this one to be one of the strongest movies that he has put out. And I know there's some backstory behind it. I know, there are kind of reasons why each of those kind of ended up the way they did. And we talked a little bit about that last fall when we were going through the franchise. But definitely, I was really glad to have a chance to revisit this one. I was kind of surprised. I ended up watching most of it with someone who doesn't usually get into these movies, but they got into the narrative thread and actually enjoyed it more than I expected. Because under all the crass humor and dick and fart jokes that are the staple of his movies, and there are a lot of them here, this one is a really strong story where Kevin Smith was grappling with the fallout of his own heart attack, and it's very, very meta in a lot of ways, but also really works in a lot of ways for that. So I really like this one. And it was also interesting for me. I don't get to sit down and just watch stuff the way I used to, and this is actually my first time returning to the Skinniverse since my trip to New Jersey. But it was really cool having now been to Quick Stop, watching one of the movies filmed there. And it was like, oh, yeah, okay. Yay. It is kind of neat to be able to say, yep. Because I always enjoy that feeling of being able to say, I've seen that. Of course, it's a little different. The RST video is defunct, but still. I guess here it's kind of defunct anyway because Jay and Silent Bob moved in. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. The other than that, I guess that about wraps it up. I mean, again, given what's coming up at the end of the month, it actually worked out really well that this got pushed to March. So I'm kind of happy about that actually. So I enjoyed it, and I will be very happy to have this fresh in my mind when we go to the panel and talk to the stars of the movie. So it'll be cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess that gives a good example here as we talk about our kind of our first experience and our initial thoughts on the film. So Justin, was this your first experience with Clerks 3?
It was actually, and really kind of the franchise. I mean, I'm familiar with Kevin Smith. I know a lot of the works that he's done. I'm familiar, obviously, with Jay and Silent Bob. I actually don't think I've ever really seen any of the original films from way back when. But again, through like online, I know who they are. I've seen them, and I've seen Kevin Smith in a lot of other things too. But I unfortunately only got through I got about 2/3 of the way through this. Not as far I wanted to finish it, but just with scheduling, I wasn't able to to do that. So I am going to go back and rewatch it from the beginning. But it was very entertaining. First thought for me was it kind of gave me the Napoleon Dynamite kind of feel. just based on the brand of comedy. And usually it's not my type of comedy, but in the beginning it was kind of like, I'm not sure, because I was trying to like piece it together. I always find it's interesting. All the movies that are close to home for me, I'm from New Jersey, born and raised there, but just to kind of see films that reference that, I never seem to always get into that, but it was really fun to watch just because once the humor kind of starts, and I do kind of have that like that really goofy, quirky kind of humor. So as it kind of got rolling, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, now I can kind of get the vibe for that. So it was really interesting, and you kind of laugh. I'm thinking like, this shouldn't be like something I'm laughing at, but I'm still laughing at it. So which is always good, because you can't find a lot of those types of films now. The comedies seem to just kind of shift gear. So this is kind of like gives you that old school feel, I guess is the way to put it. So really enjoyed it. I just want to go back when I have that window of time and just sit through and watch the whole thing. I might even go back and watch. I've never seen any of the previous films. It's kind of got me the urge to go back and try to watch everything from the beginning. So I think that would probably be beneficial as well. But from what I've seen from I thought I really enjoyed it, and it was awesome. Actually, it was really nice to kind of get that old brand of comedy back for me.
Oh, very good.
I would just throw out a couple things. One, we always forget to say spoiler alert until we're like 10 minutes into the discussion.
I was about to hit that, because this one is one of those that you probably don't. Normally, I don't really care as much, because sometimes the movies we cover here, is there. But yeah, the spoilers in this could definitely cause some issues later on if you hear them. So be warned.
And the other thing is that this movie is extraordinarily meta. And really, when it comes down to it, a lot of the movie is essentially the making of Clerks. It's a fictionalized version of the making of Clerks. So you might enjoy this one a lot, but I think once you see the first movie, you'll get it on a different level. Because that's
I would say definitely, if at the very least, before watching this one again, I would go back to the first and second film and then watch it. If you really want to do it, I would suggest doing the journey like we did over time, doing the first film, then the animated series, then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and basically go through the Askewiverse. Not all of Kevin Smith stuff, but just the Askewiverse stuff, because there's a lot of meta and callbacks throughout there, and it's a worthwhile journey, I think, at the end.
We'll mention some of them as we get through it. There are a lot of like just random, and especially not just the direct references to Clerks and like the direct references of characters that came before, but like the audition scene is packed full of references to previous, and the appearance at the very end of the movie also, that's kind of well, we'll get to that.
And actually, why don't we move on to somebody who actually took the journey with us for the first time, and has seen pretty much now all of the Askewiverse films except for Mallrats and Chasing Amy, which we will have to eventually rectify in the future.
Right.
But Tammy, you've gone through this journey. This really, it's not technically the end, because he's going to do another Jay and Silent Bob movie. I don't know if that's a good thing.
He's also talking about Dogma 2. We'll see if that ever happens.
And Jay and Silent Bob are now officially in the Marvel universe.
In the same universe.
So, but since you took this journey, this is kind of a good ending point of the Askewiverse journey. What did you think? Because this was your first time, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. I mean, when you guys first started me on this journey, I started with the journey on the cartoon with you guys. And watching the cartoon, I was just kind of like, okay, this is weird. I don't know if I'm going to like these guys. And then we watching the movies, and at first I didn't know what to think of them, because everybody's their own thing, their own person, their own personality. and they're all different, but they all got their own little quirks, and but yet they're all friends, and it's just, sometimes it's kind of like, how do these guys all get along and mesh, because they're just, all of them are so off the wall with what their personality,
Mm-hmm.
Dante is like the only one that's really like down to earth, and everybody else is just out there, to me. And he puts up with whatever and takes whatever and is still there, and and they all do this to each other. But it's funny, it's fun, and then you do see, amidst all the weirdness and the obvious sex innuendos and drug innuendos and the obvious swearing,
Star Wars
and all that stuff.
references.
Star Wars, yeah. Amidst all that, you do see the moments of, that they do care about each other, or there's, real feelings behind things and stuff like that too. It's just, but I don't know. I really didn't think, I honestly did not think I was going to get into all this, but I've actually had a lot of fun. Before we went on, I was even asking Brandon about, maybe finding a way to get copies of some of this stuff, because I myself don't have any. But I didn't think at the beginning of this I would be wanting it for myself, but it's all your guys' fault. You made me watch all this.
Actually, though, the movies themselves individually are not that expensive. On Blu-ray, I mean, Clerks 1 on Blu-ray is $11.95. Clerks 2 is $10, and Clerks 3 is $13, which is not too bad. I mean, if you think about it.
And that's just the initial three,
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd have to go further on with the Jay and Silent Bob, but they have a Jay and Silent Bob 2-pack, and I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff with the Askewiverse. I would love for Criterion or Arrow or somebody to do an Askewiverse box set.
Well, Arrow had that really nice Mallrats box set, which would be nice.
Yes, they did.
And Criterion had Chasing Amy, but I think it's out of print. They need to get that back. But
yeah.
But anyways, I have enjoyed this journey, very much so, and I don't want to spoil anything for this movie. It just let's just put it this way: I was not expecting it to go the way it did.
Right.
Yeah. And I will warn one more time before. I will warn one more time now, and then one more time before we start the actual thing. Is of course, if you have not seen this movie and you are watching this, go back, watch the movie, then come back and listen to this, because I feel like because we will spoil the ending for you. So, any case,
but I did not. I did enjoy it. I liked, like you said, this is kind of Jake said it. This is kind of like the making of Clerks in a way. Didn't you say that, Jake?
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, that's an overly reductive way of saying it, but it also works.
There's a lot of, in a sense, things about this movie.
Well, a lot of the script, a lot of what actually happens is drawn from the actual experience of making the movie. Yeah.
And Kevin Smith even said in his one of his background things is that, I was looking at this and all these characters are just experiences I've had and people I've had. Well, if I had those experiences and it made me eventually want to make this movie, why wouldn't my characters eventually want to make this movie?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but yes, they did enjoy it for the most part. We'll leave it at that.
Because Kevin Smith was essentially the Dante role, according to what he said. He essentially was Dante. He said he'd love to be Randall. In his mind, he was Randall, but he was always the Dante.
Well, he
Uh,
even talked at the which spoiler talked at the end about how he actually did in real life get work for a convenience store and
Yep.
also be asked to work at a video store right next to it.
Well, he worked.
So
Yeah, he worked at that. He worked at the exact Quick Stop,
Right.
and he ended up. He was originally applying to work at the movie shop next door because that Quick Stop is a real Quick Stop,
And they
which
did,
Rick has been to.
and they, according to what he says, they did to him what happened to me once. Actually, I applied to a place that was trying to turn it into a night spot. They were, it's like the basement of a hotel. And I went in and said, "Do not put me on the bar. I'm waiting tables. Do not put me on the bar." And they hired me to work the bar. And they did the same thing according to Kevin Smith. He wanted to sling videos, and they put him in the convenience store.
Yep.
No, this is in the 90s, right? Basically.
Right.
Well,
Well-
yeah, actually, no. It would have been the 80s when he worked at that, wouldn't it be? A late 80s.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he worked. He either was still there or had recently been there when he made the first Clerks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he used his connections to the store to
Yeah.
be able to film
So
it.
that was the start of the 90s. Like, was it 92 or whatever they filmed that?
And eventually he bought the
Well,
store himself.
The funny thing is, I used to go to a video store that was called RSE.
Ah,
Oh, so-
And it was for me, it was the early 90s that I was going there.
mhm. Yeah.
It
I
just
miss video stores.
it just was funny that the name of it is was RSE.
Oh, so Tammy, did you have anything else? Or are you good?
I'm done till we get going.
All right. So Dave, was this your first time seeing Clerks 3?
it was seen Clerks 3. Out of the Askew universe, it was Clerks 2 and Clerks 3 that I had not seen before we covered them. So, and I did not expect that it was going to go the way that it did, but I'm kind of glad that it went towards the heartstrings a little bit. Because then you get to see a very human side of the story instead of just your quirky characters. It's like Clerks and Clerks 2 was supposed to show you some of the quirks that you probably wouldn't like from some of those characters. Whereas this one kind of like draws you into the characters, makes you like them a little bit more. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was entertaining, to say the least. So, I'll give them that, and I do think that this film wears many hats towards different things that I think Kevin Smith was trying to relay across on screen. So,
well, all right. Well, before I get started into mine real quick, I will say, just so that y'all have time to think on this, at the end of this, I'll be asking, because this is the end of our kind of Kevin Smith journey. Well, we may visit it back a few times, but it may be a number of months before we do that.
Right.
So I'm going. One of the questions I'll ask is what your favorite Kevin Smith film is, but this will give you all plenty of time to think about that. So, any case, this was not my first time watching it. I think I was really eager for it. I was kind of let down by the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, but I loved how Kevin Smith decided to do those movies. He actually he actually did the old school rent out a theater and travel with the movie as his way of doing it, which I love. That. That's how they used to do it when you were an indie creator and you were trying to do that. And he did it with this one too. And I missed out both times when they came to Richmond. But
it was pricey. I remember looking.
It was very pricey.
But yeah, it would have been nice.
But and really the success of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot paid for Clerks 3. Kevin Smith has always said he's going to make this movie, but the success of that made people more willing to invest in Clerks 3. And it's one of those things. I think it wouldn't have hit me as effectively if it didn't hit me at that right time. 2022 is when it came up. I don't think I saw it until closer to 2023, and that was not a good year. I had a bad year, very bad year. And I admit, looking through it at a lens when you've had that general thoughts about growing older in geekdom, I guess you could say, but also on top of that, dealing with loss and then wondering who's next and what's that. And that's unfortunately something that when you hit the age, I mean, I'm 46 right now, about to turn 47 this year. Yeah, I'm not as old as the characters in this, but I won't be that long down the road.
You're pretty close. They said they were nearing 50, but I don't think they were more specific than that, are they?
Yeah. And, I mean, in the film they were, but, I know that I think all of them are in their 50s now.
They're a little older than that. Yeah, I think they were like 22, 23, something when they made the first movie. So, yeah.
But I look at that and yes, so some of these things hit a lot harder when you're able to look at that from that kind of introspection. And I admit, if I had seen this when I was 20 something, I said, get rid of this art house shit. This is something that Jake would want to watch.
I like French chills.
But, I think that as we have gone through life, Jake has refined my tastes to be a little bit more complex, and I have brought him further down into the gutter. So I think we've worked well together.
Yes.
And with
then
that,
he met me.
I think I could say the same about David.
Oh yeah. I think Dave has definitely been
a helper in getting you even further down in the gutter and down here with the rest of us in the sewers.
Dave has helped build your tolerance to some of that stuff.
Oh, jeez.
But, when I saw this, it was one of those things that I was kind of disappointed, as I said, with Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. I was okay with it, but I was hoping for more. And I actually was surprised when I saw this at how much heart this movie had. Because I've said it before when we talked Clerks 2. Clerks 2 was funny. It was a good time, but there was no heart in Clerks 2, really. Well, there was, but it was almost empty in a lot of ways. It was an overabundance of the dick and fart jokes that we saw. And that was the sad thing. But this one actually felt a lot closer to the source material, the original Clerks, in a lot of ways. It had a lot more of that love in it, that drive. And that's something special. And we'll talk about it as we go. So, final warning for spoilers, because we will not hold back. And away we go. So we open up, and as we go through this, we kind of hit all the points as we go. As we open up, we actually see a day in the life. As we know, by the end of Clerks 2, they decided to buy the Quick Stop. Well, that was back in 2006. Now it's 2022. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we get to kind of see a day in the life. And I love how they do that. They show the opening up. They play The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
Right.
Clerks has always been, excellent with music. And that was a great opener. Showing the roof hockey and just everyday life. And of course, they do a great setup, a lot of background stuff. You see Rosario Dawson's character died pretty much not long after the end events of the second film, because that was the same year of the second film, 2006.
Right.
Which makes sense considering who died there. And to me, it's an excellent setup. We get to see Jay and Silent Bob. I'll hit them in just a minute because I just go hit that little setup with the Black Parade, and I just wanted to see what y'all's thoughts about it. It was kind of funny because I was not really into Chemical Romance, but that they played that darned commercial for that band over and over again until I eventually bought one of their CDs. It worked on me back years ago. So, and Black Parade is one of their best songs, in my opinion.
It is.
But what do y'all think of that opening?
I think it's a pretty solid opener. It's nice. It's good music. It's just kind of a chill, kind of getting us back into the world. We see that they get to do their hockey games on their terms, which seems like something that they would be happy with, kind of fun.
Yep. Anybody else?
I feel like Chemical Romance was like at the budding end of the 90s to late 90s music, because I was still in high school around that time up until 1999, and I remember that was like the year the gothic alternative music started to come out, and My Chemical Romance, Blink 182.
Yeah.
You got Sublime coming out at around that time, kind of like that punk alternative. And I think one of the things that has been strong about the Clerks movies is their usage of music. And I think that was a great starter for the film, So
and let's not forget that classical music piece. That's a classic Berserker. That was.
Yeah. For sure.
But with that, I'll go ahead and I'll talk about Jay and Silent Bob, because they do introduce them, and it works with Clerks fashion, because Jay and Silent Bob always come around a little bit later. They actually came in earlier than they normally would, but I guess it makes sense because they're right there, and they're still standing in front of the store, but the store is theirs, where they sell weed and videos, and they're acting as if they were selling on the streets, which I think
that's how we did it in the 90s.
Yeah, that fake drug deal going on. I like that,
because of course weed is legal in New Jersey now, so it's hilarious how they're just trying to hide it. So that's how we did it in the 90s, yo. Yeah.
Now it's come to light. Yep.
And one thing I noticed that is an interesting thing throughout the film, and I wanted to throw this out because I make note of it at the end, is that throughout the entire film, they are building a joint.
Yeah.
And they smoke the joint at the end, this massive joint. And they're building it all throughout the film.
And Jay's like, needs more weed, and Bob nods his head.
That was before Kevin Smith quit weed, which he quit like, what, 2024, I think?
I don't remember exactly. But yeah.
I was wondering if they were trying to make one as big as History of the World.
Yeah, it's a mighty joint. So Tammy, you finally have gotten to understand Jay and Silent Bob. I mean, you got to see them from the beginnings to now. How did it feel to see them back in action again?
I always get a kick out of them, especially since Silent wasn't so silent this time either.
Well, he did the thing he's always done, which is be silent except when he needs to talk. But we'll get to what he actually says, but I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I was used to, like, at the beginning of all of this, him being basically silent. I mean, the very first, I don't remember which one it was now, But the very first one that I saw him say something, and I was just like, oh my God, he talks. Oh.
Well, they actually, that was one of the meta things they touched on here. There's that part where Jay keeps flubbing his line, and then Bob's just like,
Yeah.
he just steps in and
I'll
says
say
it. And that apparently was what happened. It was like he
Yeah.
wasn't going to say anything. Jason Mewes couldn't get the line, so he was like, I'll say it. You know?
And then
Right.
and it built
And then
it built the whole thing.
Yep.
He said something else later on, and so yeah, he talked a lot more in this one than I think than he has in any of it, you know.
Yeah.
But
I
Well,
think
we haven't seen Chasing Amy yet, and I think the Amy speech is probably comparable in length to his treatise on cinematography here.
Yeah, the Amy speech is his most famous speech. Though your first exposure to Bob's words was No Ticket from Dogma.
Mhm.
Which was an Indiana Jones reference, technically.
It was great. That was the only one he said. No ticket.
I do get a kick out of the two of them. It's, you know.
Yeah.
So we get one on. We have a few things that kind of run on throughout the film. One of them is, of course, they reintroduce Elias, who has quit movies and is working for them at the Quick Stop, and he's got his own little silent Bob with him.
Yep.
And they are making. They're selling NFTs, like Christian NFTs, and Jesus kites. Now I find it funny.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And I'll say why, and then I'll stop for a bit. But I find it hilarious because they kind of make fun of it. But at that time, in 2022, there was another film Kevin Smith did called Kilroy Was Here, which was an NFT-only movie.
Mm-hmm.
So since he went all in on it, I think it's just hilarious that he was kind of laughing at it at the same time.
I didn't realize that was that recent. I thought that was a little earlier.
2022, according to IMDb.
Yeah, you're right. Huh.
So, I mean, I didn't see it until last year, but, you know.
Because it was a freaking NFT.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't really see it legally unless you paid $1,000 for the NFT. And then, you know, got it. But, yeah.
And I think that may have been...
Pirate me.
I think that may have been intentionally either he was hurt by all the backlash he got over that, or he was thumbing his nose, or just playing around with like, hey, I'm not taking it so seriously after all. You know, I don't know. It came off as him having a sense of humor about it, I think. So that's good.
Because he actually presented it as almost positive at the end, if you look at it. So it's kind of hard to say where he stood on it.
They did end up making a killing at the end. So that was probably him thumbing his nose at the naysayers.
Well, NFTs are pretty much dead now. Thank the Lord for that.
Yeah. Well, they were probably killed by Elias and Blockchain using them to sell kites.
Well, that is the name of his Silent Bob character, Blockchain.
yeah. It was. What was it? It was. That was part of it. It was. Blockchain Coltrane, I guess, is what he called him. Yeah.
But yeah, from those of you who saw Elias in the movie, he definitely has gotten older when you see him. All the characters look older when you see them. The only one that doesn't look substantially older is Jay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's looked pretty much the same most of the time. Yeah. Damn.
Well, Kevin Smith's issue is because he lost all that weight, it also aged him up like a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, Dante gained the weight as he got older, and Randall kind of just looks gaunter.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The older we get, the more gaunt we get.
Gaunter or heavier, one of the others, and usually one and the other can to reverse themselves as time goes.
Well, if you don't grow in, you grow out.
Right.
Fair.
But what do y'all think of Elias and his cohort selling those Jesus kites?
The buddy
over time, I think they get funnier and funnier because their look just keeps getting more gothic and more out there. Like
Yeah.
I swear I've seen some of those walking some of the high school hallways when I was going to high school. So
Probably, yeah.
The, Elias was insufferable in Clerks 2.
Yeah.
He was one of the weakest links in that one. And I feel like here, both the actor did a better job in this one. But also just the character for me is still problematic. I mean, the whole going from a complete goody two shoes Jesus freak to all hail Satan in like a blink of it is kind of funny, but it's also really out there,
redundant almost.
and I think he's trying a little too hard with all the outlandish outfits.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But other than that, it is kind of funny that he does have his own Silent Bob.
No.
And again, I think he did a bit. He didn't bother me near as much as he did in Clerks 2.
If you think about it, Elias is that repressed character who, you know, eventually those types of characters that they go off the deep end after a bit, and it wouldn't be surprising. But did anybody else notice the Chuli's gun adverts?
Chuli's gun?
Gum. You know,
gum.
From the first movie. They had adverts for that all over the store.
Well, you got it on your background there, you know?
Yep, exactly. That's where I noticed, like, oh.
And Chuli's gum and Nail cigarettes. And both of those are entirely made up for the film. But it was like the first movie, they just had generic stuff, right? Because they couldn't show the brands.
You went to the original Quick Stop.
Yeah.
Did they have the Chuli sign up in the background?
I don't think they had much. Like, it looked much more like an actual convenience store. Like, there was stuff that showed that this was like where Clerks was done. But I don't remember specifically a Chuli's sign. I feel like there might have been.
You want to know what's funny is after watching the Elias scene, apparently I had written a note immediately. This film is making me feel old, especially since I just watched Clerks 2.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Well, there are other reasons as well, and I'm sure we'll be getting to some of them very soon.
Very soon.
And actually, talking about like again, we're looking forward to the 4 Central cast coming here to Richmond this month. But last year, Brian O'Halloran was here. And honestly, he definitely, I was like, oh man, he's older looking than I thought. Like, no offense to him if he were to listen. But I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. But it's like, it makes sense, you know, it makes perfect sense. But
I mean, all 4 of them are going to be here. You know, Jay, Silent Bob, Randall, and Dante are going to all be here, so that's going to be
wow, that's awesome.
I got the ticket that allows me to get the signatures from them, which is good because I want to get them while they're still alive. That's why I was still thinking about William Shatner's going to be there again. If I could afford it, I should get William Shatner's signature. He's 94.
He's not going to live forever. Yeah, I mean,
but he loves GalaxyCon. He's going every year. He went to GalaxyCon when it was little.
True, you never know.
So while having the kite argument, Randall has a heart attack, resulting in him being called to the hospital. He berates Dante for calling the ambulance, but realizes that was probably the good thing because he would have likely died otherwise. And I love how having a heart attack can be a comedic moment when we have a small dick thing, and we have the doctor who was coming back from a costume party, which, by the way, is a reference from the cartoon, if you think about it, because Mayor McCheese was coming back from a costume party.
There are several references to the animated series, apparently, including the movie debut of Lando.
Yeah, Lando. Sorry, Lando. Yeah, Lando was there at the background.
But the scene, I'm sure Dave probably enjoyed the scene where they're prepping him from surgery, because you saw. I only got a glimpse of it, but it looked like Randall had a Mount Rushmore of horror icons.
Is that? I couldn't tell. That's what that was. Okay.
It looked like
it was superheroes.
Superheroes, yeah, superheroes.
Yeah, it was the God.
The tattoo.
The tattoo on his leg.
Yeah,
I want to say it was a DC superhero lineup, and I can't think of the name of it. I think Justice Society. I want to say
the Justice Society or Justice League.
I could have sworn I saw a hockey mask. Maybe it was superheroes, though. I don't know. I just like that. I only got a glimpse of it, and I know the
doctor made a comment of it on it too.
But the doctor also went on to make very clear she didn't know shit about all that stuff.
Yeah,
like when he said something about like you're the Batman of doctors or something. She's like, great responsibility, and he's like, "The fuck you talking about?" But yeah,
that's good.
Now, of course, the doctor was actually named for the doctor that saved Kevin Smith's life.
Oh wow, okay.
And I had Tammy sitting next to me talking about her experience when she was in La La Land for her own heart stuff that she had going on. If Tammy, you wanted to explain a little bit about it.
Well, yeah, they took him. It was, they ended up putting a stent in him. So everything that led up to them putting the stent in and afterwards, I actually went through. I mean,
wow.
I'm in like La La Land, and all of a sudden there's this guy going, "Hi, I need to shave you." I'm like, "What? I shave you down there? You have to do what? Okay." What am I gonna say? I'm the operating and I'm La La Land. Then they had the screens up and I could see things, and I'm like, and all of a sudden they're like, "Well, we're gonna like enter now because they enter through your groin," because when they told him that, he started to freak out, and I was like, "Yep, I know exactly how he feels." When they start going through it, I'm like, "Oh, is that me?" And
I think that's.
and they're all laughing because you're awake, but you're like in La La Land.
Yep.
And I could see the stuff on the screen,
Right.
So I knew exactly the stuff that they were saying and the stuff he was going through. It's like, geez, that all sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think that's similar to what I had with my heart procedure too. It's like and that was one reason why this movie hit hard this time, was like I've had all that stuff with my heart, and it's like, ooh.
So for those of you who really wanted to know, and Jake, you're right, Jason is on there. The tattoo is Danger Ranger, Jason from Friday the 13th, the movie pal, and Randall himself.
What was the other one?
And Randall himself.
No, the one before that.
The movie pal.
Oh, the movie. Oh, jeez.
That is a very odd Mount Rushmore right there. And one only Randall.
Yeah, they're gonna make one.
And wait. There's no Star Wars on there?
You would think there
That's
would be.
surprising, yeah.
You think his Mount Rushmore would be like
have Darth Vader or something like that.
Yeah, if you're gonna go iconic villain, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, that Ranger Danger guy, or whatever thing, that was like one of like the supposed comic book heroes that Randall loved so much.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Wearing like T-shirts of him and all that stuff.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
But yeah, Randall does live. I guess it would have been a short movie if he didn't. Spoiler. No.
And
Spoiler alert. Yeah, he doesn't die. Nope, just kidding.
Well, incidentally, the shaving scene, we get the movie's cameo from Justin Long.
I thought that was one of my favorite parts. Actually, I kind of like that.
Frequent Kevin Smith collaborator there. And this part of the movie is also the part where Elias has his conversion.
Yeah,
Yep.
praying to God. God's not answering, so he prays to Satan instead. And of course, Randall pulls through.
Because I smited him. I asked for it, and he.
Yes, that was we didn't say that before. Like he believes God smited him on his orders.
Yep.
And
of course, with Randall talking about the Mandalorian the whole time that they're doing the surgery.
Right. And I believe the doctor was played by someone who's on the Mandalorian, didn't she?
She was the I can't remember. I haven't watched it in so long now. Who is that character? I feel like was she the junker lady that Jin meets on that planet when he goes to have his ship repaired or something?
I think so.
Well, one of the things though that happens in this that I do think is worth noting is during this whole time, of course, Dante is very concerned and very upset, and we see the first flash of Rosario Dawson's character being wheeled into the ER after being hit by the drunk driver that killed her, and him having flashbacks. And this is something that does reoccur throughout, because you just get a very brief glimpse at the beginning of what happened, but you can tell that how much this hits home for him, and this just is the start of that, of him having that feeling of being left behind.
Yeah. And this is one thing that on the one hand, I have some mixed feelings about it, because I love Rosario Dawson and I love the character that she played, and I really hated that they killed her off before the movie even started. And it is an overused trope to have someone dealing with the death of someone, having a character become sort of a prop for the story in that way. So all those things I kind of see as a little bit of a negative, but it also did set up a really good, solid, powerful story for Dante. So I guess I'm all right with it. I had some mixed feelings about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it set up the time for when he actually felt like he could check out, you know.
And all this because she wanted to see a goat, a donkey show. She wanted to see a donkey show.
And
donkey goat.
I did not catch this in the credits. I don't know if anyone else did, but I was reading on IMDb and they said that this was listed in the credits. And given Smith's obsession with Star Wars and everything Star Wars, it makes sense. But apparently in the credits, he thanks her for being his Force ghost in this movie.
Yeah.
So she is basically a Force ghost. And I didn't really pick up on it, but I'm like, that's kind of neat how they and then at the very end of the movie, we see another Force ghost, but it's like, it's kind of what they are in a sense. It's like, she's there for him, just like the way that they were in the Star Wars movies. It's like,
hey, the Force worked for Silent Bob and Mallrats.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it did.
The Jedi mind trick.
But Randall, of course, unsurprisingly so, after that brush with death, was looking back at his life and was like, well, what have I done? And finally came upon this, like, well, I've watched movies all my life. Why can't I make a movie of my own?
Well, I think Dante says something that triggers that in his brain. Like, it doesn't really click until he's like, shoot, you could make one. And then he's like, you see the light bulb go off over his head. It's like,
yeah, then it becomes my movie, my life, my this, my that. And
there's actually a subtle difference here between Dante and Randall that you don't see as much in the other two films because, and I'm going to get to that at the end of my thoughts on this, but to me, the relationship, though it's always been close, this is one of those where Randall is definitely the selfish one as we go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Not that Randall was like the peak of generosity throughout the other movies, but this one, he really
very self-centered a bit more. It seemed, at least to me. I could be off a bit, but I just kind of felt that way a little bit.
I don't know why, but I kept being reminded of like Danny Kaye in White Christmas pointing to the arm every time.
Yeah, that's a good. Yep.
well, it's very literally like that because he keeps talking about how he almost died, and it's like, and in a sense, actually, wait, I'm trying to remember the White Christmas. Oh yeah, he hurt himself saving the other guy. That's what it was.
Yeah, because he saved Bing Crosby's character from like a falling thing.
The wall fell down and
injured.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different because Dante saved his life and Randall is appreciative for that, but it was it's not like he. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling, but but yeah, I get that idea of like that continual guilt trip, that continual you get what you want because you keep hearkening back to this one thing.
Yeah, and I will say, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll have to keep that in mind. I never tried that trick, but maybe that's something maybe that's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, and I'll admit I was in and out of hospitals all throughout 2023, not for my own health. And I'm not going to go further than that, but I stayed up hours and nights in the ERs and stuff like that. So I understood that feeling.
Yeah.
And looking at that, there's two ways of looking at it. One is from the patient's perspective, but the other is from those that are left behind.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Or potentially left behind, really.
There's definitely two different sides of that because I've been there similarly with certain things. So you definitely it's a different set of emotions and different thought process and all that stuff, which a lot of times you don't realize. And I've again, not to overshare because I'm talking about that, but I've been through something similar where I've been on that losing side where it totally changes a lot of things. Which you're always prepared for that, but when I've said this recently because I've suffered quite a bit recently for that, but it's when it actually happens, when the reality hits, it's much different. You could tell yourself mentally, I'm going to try to be prepared, but that's a lot of feelings and driven things, and it really you have to going through that process is tough. So it really does cause a lot of reflection too. So
a lot of us grow up thinking that we have superpowers, and then suddenly, suddenly when it hits that you are not that superpowered person, and then smack dab into that reality wall, and it's like, oh shit, I got to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
I got to feel it. I got to own it. I got to process it, and that pain factor is real stuff. I'm sure a lot of people think about, there's different levels to it, but it really does, depending on the relationship, who it is, who, what, where, when, and why. But, like I said, I've been there because I've had different levels. I've had quite a few really close ones. I've had people I've known, it's a whole change of things. So it really just sends you on a roller coaster of feelings and emotions. And, it's just, I've learned too, same thing, younger, it's like you're invincible, you don't feel anything, but now I really have to grow up because I'm going through all this and I know it's not finished yet. That's the sad part. Like I've got others that are close. I'm like, everybody's getting older. So as much as I brace for reality, it's not going to be easy to face that when it happens.
Well, on a lighter note,
yes, please.
Let's see. We do have them getting started with this whole movie thing, and of course Randall is all over the place writing the movie. and talking about, well, we need this and we need the video store, but Jay and Silent Bob owe it. And I love how they get that angle where they had this porno tape that they had rented.
Was it a porno?
It was a porno.
That's what I thought I heard him say. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It was definitely a porno. I forget what the name was, but it was definitely a porno.
It was
I love how they said that
it's like dental something or other. It wasn't like
Debbie Does Dental School or something.
No.
Yeah.
It was a very innocuous title. It was very.
It was a dental. It was a dental school,
like dental practice or something.
But it was a educational movie, actually.
I'm trying to remember if it was. Yeah.
It was
Well, that's what they
not
call
a
them after
porno.
school special.
They were teasing him about, well, this isn't your normal or whatever, because it was something from, going to dental school.
Yeah, dental school, I think is what it was called.
Right, and you're like, what would you be doing with this to begin with?
And why would you be turning it in 20-some years later?
It's like, well, why are you doing this? You didn't even have a VCR. We watched the old school way. We
it's like, if you didn't watch it, why did you not rewind? How'd you forward it through? Like, we pulled it apart.
Yeah, they said that they said that they didn't have a VCR, and then and they were like, well, wait a minute, if you don't have a VCR, why is it not rewound?
And they tallied up like 26 years worth of late fees,
and then added 50 cents for it not being rewound.
10,250 cents or something.
Right.
So they managed to say, okay, well, you can use the store as a filming location.
Yeah, I could see where that was going there. Like, okay,
that was
yep.
fun. But before that though, what was I going to say? There was
and they didn't even realize that they were in the same video store that closed down, using it for.
He's like, yeah, really? We are.
Right. Yeah, they're like, he's like, RST Video closed years ago. You guys are here now.
And I like the point where, like, I think it was Kevin Smith when he taps the shelf with the tapes, and like, oh yeah, that's right, okay.
And actually, I wonder if they didn't just like have everything packed inside video boxes so it would look like a. But anyway, we should mention that Randall hammered out the screenplay in one night.
Yeah,
he was really
impressive.
Inconvenience.
I think Dante said, "Don't tell anyone that part." Yeah. And
some of the things, like he was like, Dante is. It's like, oh no, you are like, what was the kid? Dak. You're Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's Dak? I don't.
Yeah, he's saying who all these people are in Star Wars, and he's claiming that he is Luke and Han, and that Elias.
Yeah, that was funny. I like that part. It's like, just kick a man when he's down, even. Like, yeah, sure, don't insult him. He's not even Princess Leia. Like, wow, okay. That's
he's the guy that's in the back of the thing before R2-D2 even existed as his partner.
Right.
That's like being. I was thinking, like, that's like being called a red shirt guy. Like, that's pretty insulting. Like,
he is more or less correct that Jay and Silent Bob would be 3PO and R2-D2.
Oh yeah,
that's highly accurate. Yeah.
They're clown shoes, as was stated by the in the review that was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. They're nothing but clown shoes.
Right.
But I do think that it's interesting that you can see Jay is pretty much insufferable after the heart attack. And it's sad how much he actually puts Dante down in a lot of this as he goes, and makes Dante the producer, saying, okay, I need you to secure the funding, get the filming locations, get all that stuff set down.
It's not just securing the funding. I don't think he really told him that being a producer is the funding.
Well, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Well, I mean, exec producers are contribute a good chunk of that. So you probably, but the producer is the one that helps wrangle them. Yes. But
now, speaking of people that look good for their age, Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah,
she aged very well.
Right.
because Dante has to really grip with this because
Mhm.
he's got to figure out about this money, and he is trying to get perspective and going to his wife's grave because he didn't just lose her, he lost their unborn child too in that.
Right.
Wow.
And he's had such a hard time getting past that.
He hasn't processed it yet.
Yeah.
And able to move on.
Well,
Right.
At one point in the film, he straight up says that basically he died that day.
Yeah.
He's been The Walking Dead for years now, basically.
Which
And his
very
laugh,
makes sense. Yep. That makes
We'll
sense.
talk about that whole speech at the end because I
Yeah.
did find that as a very poignant speech.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he's literally at his grave talking to Rosario Dawson, who plays it very well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she plays that part of the kind of Force Ghost very well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives him that it gives him basically the perspective to, okay, I will keep going and I will keep supporting him on that. And then we go into the auditions, which are hilarious. My favorite
Yeah.
is Ben Affleck's, but you know,
Yep.
he does the whole like he does the thing from the Jay and Silent Bob
yes,
Strike
from
Back.
the Goodwill Hunting 2 scene. Yeah.
Naturally. Yep. Naturally.
So I recognized a number of these people, but not all of them. But obviously Ben Affleck, obviously Fred Armisen, Danny Trejo, Ethan Suplee shows up. Ethan Suplee screams out the line he had from Mallrats, which was kind of funny. And Scott Mosier, who was Smith's producer from the beginning, basically cameos as Snowball, doing his line from the original Clerks. Of course, Freddie Prinze Jr. is introduced by name. I did not recognize Anthony Michael Hall, or I did not recognize Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh yeah,
and I did recognize Melissa Benoist, but I wasn't sure it was her. And then you get some like voice actors like Ralph Garman in there. There was a good bit of talent there, and a lot of them were callbacks. A lot of them were callbacks to Melissa Benoist played Chronic in one of the previous movies. You had Jay and Silent Bob were in Fanboys, if I remember correctly. Weren't they in the scene with Danny Trejo? I think.
I don't remember.
Might have been.
Ben Affleck, of course, long history with, you know.
I mean, this one also was a personal item because the theater that they used to do the auditions was the one that was rented for free. Basically, he was able to get the theater for free because he knew the guy there to do the auditions for the original Clerks. That was the theater, the stage that they did the original Clerks auditions.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun to see that. A lot of Clerks Easter eggs.
I was a little, I don't know exactly who played the guy that burst into song, but Melissa Benoist was one that recommended they use musical numbers, and then there's this other guy who kept singing. I was a little disappointed she didn't sing because she does have a good voice, but you know.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, this was one of those things where you have a lot of heavy stuff going on, but they do a good job about like mixing in this stuff.
Right.
And of course, Elias this whole time is trying out different goth fashion.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more elaborate and over
blockchain's right there with him, you know.
Oh yeah, he keeps changing his appearance constantly. It's like every time you see him, oh, okay. You see him, oh, okay. Now we're doing that. Oh, all right.
And all that just for Randall to say, no, we're just gonna play ourselves.
Yeah.
And he sends Victoria. Is it Victoria or Veronica? I can't remember the name. Veronica. He sends Veronica's script, and she's pissed off.
Oh, she is. Yes. Marilyn Gigliotti, who, of course, reprising her original role.
Hey, well, after having sex with Dante, she decides that she will be fine with playing herself again.
Yeah,
okay.
She's got her own stuff going on, you know. But yeah,
and this is where we get that famous Silent Bob speech, because they cast Bob as the DP.
Yeah,
Just like, yeah, we've been on a film set twice.
yeah, we have more film experience than any of you guys. Yeah,
And then and Bob was basically justifying his filming of black and white for Clerks.
Right.
Which I think also that's probably, if I want to say correctly, that was Kevin Smith's original reasoning for doing it.
pretty much. Yeah, I think it was. At least that's how I've heard him describe it before. So,
when he came up with that, when he was giving that whole speech and everything, and he came up with it, and then you start seeing them doing some of the filming about Black Boy. I'm like, I think he was onto something. I think he was better that way.
right.
But yeah.
And I don't think they really said it, but I think there may. No, never mind. I thought I had a thought, but I didn't. Never mind.
Did y'all have any other thoughts about the Veronica comeback or the speech that that Bob gives? He's always supposed to say something poignant, but that was an interesting way of doing it.
When Veronica came in and got mad at Randall, that was great.
Yeah.
Well, you saw that.
Always mad at him. Yeah.
And we did. And that's also when Dante goes ahead and he decides to secure the fund, use his ex to try and secure the funding. So we get that cameo of Kevin Smith's actual wife. No hair dye this time. But and she makes another one at the end as kind of the villainous way of doing it. But basically, Dante puts up his half of the store for the collateral for the loan, because Randall's looking for like 25 grand or something like that.
Actually, I think at one point he said, "Actually, we need," and I think it was the exact amount the first movie supposedly cost.
Wow, that's cool.
I mean, Kevin Smith sold his comic book collection. They sold his old car. He put a lot into getting Clerks made.
Yeah, I remember that actually when that happened. Yeah.
I mean, he is that case of that indie filmmaker with a true film that managed to make it work and do it. He's the one of us people who made these micro budget films and actually managed to be successful with one and push it further. I mean, I've made 2 films and I'm working on a 3rd one now, but I can tell you right now, not a single one I'm going to do as well as Clerks.
Well, gotta keep an open mind though.
And Kevin Smith has been very vocal over the years about how Clerks was heavily inspired by Richard Linklater's success with Slacker. And at one point, someone actually tells Randall, "What you're trying to be?" I don't remember who they said.
Linklater, yeah.
No. They said, "Who are you trying to be?" And he's like, "No, I always saw myself more as a Linklater."
Linklater, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when he gets the funding, one of the things I did find hilarious is they recreated the Jay dance scene exactly how it was filmed, because that entire thing where Jason Mewes basically tells everybody, he's like, "No, I'm not going to do it. No, everybody go. Just hit the button and leave."
Right.
And that's exactly how it happened, because he was so nervous about doing this type of acting in front of people. And it's actually kind of funny, because I actually had somebody when I was writing this say this for a script I wrote for them, an Amityville webcam. It's like, "I don't talk like that," and everybody else around was like, "Yes, you do." I think it was Mo. When I was.
That's become kind of a running joke in the Isk universe, though. It's like in Chasing Amy, they're talking to Holden, and Jay's like, "I don't say this. Snoochie Boochies, who talks like that?" And Holden kind of just looks at him like, You know, it's like he is not at all aware of it, that this is his catchphrase, you might say, and it keeps breaking up. Like,
Yeah. They have to go and get the movies because he's also including stuff from Clerks 2 in there, and they want to get the Donkey Show in there.
yeah.
And I love how they send Jay and Silent Bob there to secure it, and they get the staff high, and they have a dance number.
Right.
That's definitely a callback from Clerks 2 when they had that weird dance number in the middle.
Right.
And as they're doing that, Dante just cannot do it, and he ends up running off.
Mm-hmm.
And when he comes back to the quick stop, he is like wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And Randall is pissed off at him. And he goes and he blows up at him, talking about how selfish he is and how, how terrible he is there. And when you're going to film this scene tonight with me, because this is my movie about my life, and it's always my life.
Well, and the reason why he went off is because he was supposedly going to try to step inside movies, his old place in Clerks 2, but he couldn't.
Yeah, it reminded him too much of Becky, and obviously, and of course, the Donkey Show, would have reminded him too much.
Rosario Dawson's ghost would have loved to go back in there for the Donkey Show.
Yeah. We should also mention that Dante had assured Randall that he had secured press, and it turns out, I guess, he got someone to write for a high school paper, and it turns out it's Lando's daughter. But just like in the as a callback to the animated series, Lando doesn't really get to say anything.
Shut up, Lando.
Yeah, but that was what's up?
No, when we get to the actually, I'll hold off on the Dante thing. Does anyone have anything up until Dante goes off? Which I want to hit that separately.
The fact they go into the cooler also was a little bit of a callback to, because I think there was an episode where they were stuck in the cooler.
If they got locked in there, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Well, and in the movie, they got locked in the cooler with a dead guy.
Yeah.
All I know is I did feel for Dante though, when they showed up at the burger joint where the donkey thing was.
Yeah.
And
before we had again when Randall just sent the script to Veronica without telling anyone he was going to do it, and she's furious to be included in his movie, especially without being asked first. But it's like it's only because of Dante that she became involved in the movie, and then of course he pulls this thing with movies without clearing it with Dante that yes, this could be a thing. Like he just barreling straight ahead and not taking anyone else into account. And that's one of the main reasons Dante goes off on him. It's like
and that's one of the things I wanted to go into. The Dante speech here is probably one of the best acting examples I've seen from this actor for a while.
Right.
And I will say this one is different. Yes, we had 2 of these blow-ups by Dante that we have gotten to witness in our Clerks journey. But there's one major difference between this and those. In Clerks 1 and 2, Dante has been acting like a selfish jerk, while at the same time pretending to be the responsible party. It's really that's more the caring and responsible party.
Not pretending so much as thinking that he is.
But this time, Dante is the selfless one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Randall is the irresponsible one.
Mm-hmm.
In a nutshell. Yep.
I mean, he calls him on it.
Yep.
And that makes that much more powerful, especially
Oh, yeah.
considering what happens.
Mhm.
For sure.
Because he collapses of a heart attack.
Yep.
And
Well, I felt
at
like
the very end,
Dante really, really meant every word he said this time. You know, that this
Right.
was for real. You know, this. He was like burying his soul. He just, you know.
don't you love that the last actual words of the character were, and I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
What was I going to say? He's berating Randall for like my life, and he's like, you realize that this is our life.
Yeah.
Your life is my life, and it's like, and Randall actually kind of gets it. Like, it doesn't fully sink in until after everything else that happens, but like, he literally had not thought beyond himself, and that's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, he doesn't even do that. Even when they get to the hospital, he's like, I'm just going to go back and continue shooting the movie. It's just a heart attack, because he's putting it off like that. And it takes,
and he thinks, well, he got through it,
it takes Elias telling him that, he put up half the quick stop. He did all this to finally get through to him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very touching scene.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Because then Randall ends up hatching a plan to sneak inside the hospispital after thinking about it, mulling about
He does a
it.
big re-edit with all of the stuff that he has gathered over the year, or over this time. He does a major re-edit, and then he gets Jay and Silent Bob to break in. I do find that hilarious that they finally do pay off that giant joint that they were making.
Yeah.
And he sneaks in, of course, as you say. I mean, he sneaks in to show him the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very impressive to see Randall actually breaking out of that.
Mm-hmm. Especially impressive the de-aging effects they had in that movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's amazing. CG does amazing.
Yeah,
That's where most of the money went.
does wonder.
Yeah.
In
Well,
any
most of the
case,
budget.
for the purposes of showing the movie to Dante, they place him inside an empty theater, and he begins to see the movie the way that Randall envisioned it.
And the theater is I think the theater is a great way of doing that acting wise, because it's really inside Dante's head, because Dante is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell at first he's like, I don't want to watch your freaking movie.
Yeah.
But he sees it. Rosario Dawson comes, and then he leaves.
She tries to push him to have more adventures, though, before he decides that he's gonna up and check out. Though she really does want him to experience life to its fullest.
She's like, you sure you don't want to see how it ends? And he's like, I trust the director. And then pretty cool.
So, after that touching bit, we go to the funeral, and it's, what's his name? It's Elias, who is doing that thing, the thief thing that he was talking about, the good thief.
The good thief and the bad thief, yeah.
In the Bible or so on. And because that's one that he comes back to again and again in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to Randall, doing his send off.
And I have to say, that was one of the more perfect eulogies I think I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, because he said originally he was going to go with a famous movie quote, but
I was going to go with the Star Trek quote, but it's like, well, I was never much of a Star Trek guy.
Right.
And I know, I mean, Wrath of Khan is that's.
He's like, instead, I'm just going to paraphrase something that he would say, you know. But, yeah. He's
not even supposed to be here today.
Right. Yeah.
Which held a much heavier note from Randall than you would normally hear from him, since he's not normally a sentimental guy.
Right. And it's also the first time in the movie that we see Jay's daughter show up, but who's actually Kevin Smith's daughter, but you know.
Yep.
Well, then we're back to the quick stop, and of course, Elias is having to fit into that role of Randall's new best friend. As of course, Kevin Smith's actual wife shows up, and is ready to claim her half of the quick stop. But the NFTs pay off, all thanks to the power of Satan, of course.
Obviously.
And, of course.
And of course, they're able to save that as Elias uses his portion of the proceeds, which is essentially an NFT scam, to buy out Dante's half of the quick stop.
Yep. And then Jay and Bob come rolling in asking about all those kites, and you find out that they probably were responsible for that windfall.
And and of course, if you think about the revelations that came from some of the earlier movies, like if you look at the end of I think the second movie, it was Jay and Silent Bob that put the gum in the locks, and I can't remember who it was that actually started the fire, but it wasn't actually Randall that did that.
Yeah. I don't remember that exactly, but yeah, it was it the payout from the first movie attempt or the second one? Like, I don't know. I guess Jay and Bob must still have a lot of that money left that they had from the first.
Oh yeah, I mean they had.
I would think so,
a lot of that movie. But
they were the ones that put up the collateral for them to buy the quick stop, weren't they? If I remember correctly, yeah. But yeah, and then of course we get a couple of really fun callbacks. I didn't really catch this, but IMDb pointed it out, and I was like, oh yeah, right. But Leonardo frequently would say, well played, Clerks. And when Ella gets defeated, that is her final line, like, well played, Clerks.
I like the touches at the end where you do have kind of like Dante's ghost right next to Randall as it cycles out with that same song.
He becomes,
and of course, with the touching thing, really, of Kevin Smith's daughter doing the milk in place of his mother who had passed.
Right. Although it kind of did I see this correctly that it looked like she was probably actually working there now?
But she was wearing one of the shirts.
Yeah, that was the impression I got. But yes, you're right. The mother had done the milkmaid bit in the first two movies, and so he brought the daughter in this time to do that bit. So that was cool. Yeah.
And then, of course, if
it continues with the accusation she leveled in Jay and Silent Bob reboot that he forces his daughter to be in all his movies.
I do like, if you listen to the credits all the way to the end, Kevin Smith does talk about, it's like, well, I was going to say on this, but I decided to just go with the, pan out.
Yeah.
But I was going to let everybody know that's like, of course, Randall continues to make more movies, but he continues to work at the Quick Stop. And he ends up saying, well, thank goodness for all the fucking customers or something like that. I can't remember what the
Right.
exact was, but the idea basically because it was them that inspired that whole thing.
Well, I think it was the original line was this job would be great if it wasn't for
Yeah.
the fucking customers. And I think they changed it to this job is great because of the fucking customers. I think was what he said. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
because I heard that at the end too.
right.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much Clerks. Does anyone have anything else to say about the plot? I kind of moved fast a little bit faster. I was trying to prevent a repeat of last week. But did anything have anything else for the plot? Because we did move through pretty quick. It's not a long movie.
Right.
No, it's
No.
not.
But it is a little more plot oriented than the previous Clerks movies, that's for sure. But yeah, you're right. It moves quickly, and this did too. I'm trying to think if there was anything that we skipped that I really wanted to hit.
Because a lot of the little bits that we skipped were just kind of recreations of scenes from the Clerks film. Really, that was all we kind of skipped over because the rest of it was hitting all the major plot points.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on how a lot of things were just direct references to things that were part of the making of the original, and I think we hit most of the big ones. I can't think of any others offhand.
They even referenced the original ending of Clerks.
I will say one thing that's really cool about this. I'm pretty sure with Clerks 2, of course, most of Clerks 2 takes place at movies, but the end of it takes place at the Quick Stop. I know with the Jay and Silent Bob movies, they did not film most of those scenes at the actual Quick Stop. And so the first movie, I need to go back and see it again. But I don't think I ever noticed that from just watching those. But this one, you get to see it. They're back in the original store. And when I went to Quick Stop last winter, I was shocked at the complete lack of parking in front of the store. Like it's almost right on the road. And you didn't really get that from the movies that the Quick Stop kind of appears in because they, this one it's front and center and you're like, oh. If I hadn't been there, I think I would have been very surprised by that. I was like, huh. I do know when I went up there, I was like, holy crap, there's no parking here. This is crazy. It's like, yeah. But
So,
yeah.
well, yeah, like I said, as far as my final thoughts on this, I would say I do appreciate this as a good end cap. And if they ended the Askewiverse on this note, which they're not, but if they did, I wouldn't be upset with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they did a great job. It's unfortunate that this movie hit me at the wrong time when I watched it, because now I'll forever be hit with memories of a time that was really painful whenever I watch it. So whenever I think about certain scenes, I always start tearing up because it hits me at that time. I mean, I watched some of it on the phone while I was sleeping in my car, while I was worried about life or death of somebody. And I will say, other than was it Butterfly and the Diving Bell?
The Diving Bell and Butterfly, yeah.
Yeah, that one, at least this one I can watch. That one I don't think I'll ever be able to watch again, because that one, because of the timing of it, that just totally destroyed any ability to watch. But for this one, it still makes me tear up because it always brings back those memories. But to me, I think it's still a powerful film, and you can feel the actual love put in it, which is missing from a lot of Kevin Smith's more recent entries. Is I feel like that's one of the weaknesses that he's had over the years, especially in his later films, is that a lot of them are lacking the heart
Mm.
that a lot of his earlier films had.
I'm not sure I would see it that way. I've always seen it as more he wears his heart on his sleeve, and so sometimes the movies suffer from quality control. When I think a movie, a filmmaker who's lacking heart, I tend to think of Zack Snyder, but
Well, I think of Tim Burton whenever I think of a filmmaker lacking heart, but I usually think of that because a lot of his movies feel very cold.
yeah,
Kevin Smith's movies don't feel cold, but they feel, but a lot of them feel like they're only surface emotions.
so lacking
Nothing
sincerity.
deeper. There's a lack of deep emotion to them. A lot of it's just surface stuff.
Okay.
That's what I mean, I guess I should say.
Okay.
And I felt that with a lot of those films. I mean, Red State a lot of his films were good, but they had flaws. Red State was a great film, but it had flaws.
I need to see it again. I thought it was good when I saw it.
Kilroy Was Here
Have not
was
seen that.
okay, but had a crap ton of flaws. Well, I guess that's why it was an NFT.
You mean I was going to say you mean beyond being an NFT?
What was that one? Yoga Hosers was very
Oh
flawed.
God,
Still have not seen that one.
that
Wow.
one was just.
I've not seen his most infamous movies yet, but I've seen.
That his buddy cop movie was also very flawed.
Oh, that one I've not seen.
But when you look at it, I still think that the man, when he truly pushes himself, he can create amazing art. I mean, you see that with Clerks, you see that with this, you see it with Chasing Amy, even some films like Mallrats. You can tell that he's put a lot of his heart and soul into it. But I do feel like he lost some of that as he went through this universe. Even Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, as surface level as it is, you could tell it was a labor of love for him, because he felt like that was his goodbye note to the Askewiverse.
When in fact, this felt more like a goodbye to it.
Right.
Which it's not, because he's making another Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of kills that.
Well, and of course, again, we've gone into on the previous ones. We've talked a little bit about some of the backstory and how things came about and why they came about and when. Apparently, with this one was on ready to go, and apparently he not only did Jeff Anderson not like the script, but apparently they had a big falling out, and they didn't even speak to each other for a few years. And so Smith made Jay and Silent Bob reboot while recovering from the disappointment of scrapping this one. But then when they made up with Anderson, he went back to it and rewrote the script, and then they were able to move forward with this movie. So I think it worked out well.
I gotta wonder what the original script looked like. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see, because he said he's had Clerks 3 in his mind for years.
Right.
But it is an interesting touch on things. I mean, personally, I think Yoga Hosers was the reason for Smith's heart attack. But
very true, could be.
But but I guess we can move on, unless anybody has anything else for the plot.
Not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we talk about production? I mean, we didn't have a ton of special effects in this, really, nor did we need a lot, really, if you think about it. I mean, you had like the setting of the Quick Stop. You had a lot of iconic settings. I mean, you actually had it at the actual Quick Stop. You actually filmed at the stage that they did the auditions at. They did a lot of callbacks, and a lot of it was callbacks. But what did y'all think of it? I mean, the witch's costume looked pretty impressive.
Yeah, very good.
One interesting thing about the production, actually, we just talked a little bit about the production history, so I guess we already got started. But the original Clerks, of course, famously, Smith filmed it at night because they couldn't shut down during business hours. They kind of had to shut down to film a movie. But this one, they were able to actually, I think they closed down the Quick Stop for 2 weeks. And they basically came in, mocked up the store to look the way that they wanted it to look, with all the tulies and nails and that stuff. And so they were able to film day and night because they had the store blocked off. So that was one big difference from the original. Same setting, but they had more flexibility. So that is kind of fun. And again, one of the reasons, I don't think they mentioned it. I don't think Bob mentioned it in his speech. But I think one of the reasons they filmed in black and white in the first place was to make it easier to disguise that they were filming at night. I think that was part of the reason. So, yeah. But here they didn't have to worry about that. So.
Yeah, I thought the production was pretty good for what it was trying to portray. I mean, when is it that you make a movie about the making of a movie that you did in the first place? You know,
right?
I mean, it's kind of a unique story inside of a story.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of ordeal, which doesn't always happen. To be fair and honest, I mean,
it's not always pulled off well, especially when it happens.
No, and I think they pulled it off well in here. And go ahead.
So, Dave, I was curious because you're one of the few people that I know that says that you felt like Clerks 2 was better than Clerks 1. How about Clerks 3? How does that feel to you as a film?
I feel like this is where it's hard to say because they killed off one of the characters in Clerks.
Spoiler
to right off the way. Haven't had time to think about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, it feels like, to me, in the Askew universe, to me, Clerks 2 was the best. But Clerks 1 definitely laid the basic groundworks and is the more popular film. Partially because it was done in black and white, partially because it was done on a low budget, and a lot of people could relate to the customers that were coming into the store. You know.
Oh yeah. And
that is why Clerks became a thing of the 90s. That's why I think a lot of people still relate to it to this day.
It's one of
that being said, I knew about the film while it was coming out. Heard a lot of people liked it. I'd seen bits and pieces of it. Didn't really care for it at the time, and it just wasn't my thing that I gravitated towards at first. You know, it wasn't until Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back is when I started paying attention to the universe. So
well, I will admit that is definitely an interesting film.
I think Dave just likes Clerks 2 because of the donkey show. I think that's it.
So he and Rosario Dawson have something in common.
Oh.
I always come back to that, but I don't know why it just makes me laugh to think that the reason why she said yes to Clerks 2, and she said this multiple times in interviews, is she was curious about the donkey show.
Well, who wouldn't be? But yeah, I mean,
Rosario Dawson was quite hot at that point in time, and she was still hot in this movie.
I was going to say,
so
Yes.
she barely aged when you look at her.
Right.
If you look at her compared to everybody else, I mean, she managed to keep herself looking young.
Right.
She's actually very impressive in that way. I will give it that.
Well, in other ways too. Quite a few
Well, yeah.
ways. Actually, she's a very impressive actress. But the I had something else I was going to talk, and I can't remember what it was.
she kind of aged like Halle Berry did.
I do want to mention, like Dave kind of touched on this, like the universality of the story. Like this is one of those movies, like this one, and to a degree, Mallrats, but mostly like this one, Office Space, Waiting. These are like movies that if you've worked, especially if you've worked in the industries involved, but if you've worked, you get them. And it's like, and I remember when Waiting came out, the critics savaged it. I'm like, I'll bet you people have never worked in a restaurant in your life.
Oh, wait!
You guys just got your jobs handed to you. That's what you did.
But it's like, yeah, these are movies that just spoke to people because they'd worked there.
Yeah.
But I also have to say, and again, I tried not, I didn't get too involved. But I was like, when I was in the Quick Stop, there was actually a customer berating the clerk at the counter. And I'm like, I feel really bad for the person at the counter. I feel really bad, but this is so perfect because
I would have been very rude because I probably would have hidden somewhere and tried to film it. So
oh man. But yeah, this kind of thing does happen. And we should mention one point in the movie. There's one part where I think this person that couldn't get their line straight, like their son comes out of the back yanking his shirt off, like saying like let's throw down or whatever, basically. And then it's like Dante and Randall are like, that is the most New Jersey thing ever. Is that true?
Yep.
I thought that was kind of funny. It was like, but I believe that guy was one of the original cast members, if I'm remembering correctly. The old man. There were a couple that were exact, like the guy that played Rick Darris and the one that played was it Alyssa's sister? I think it was. They were the same people. And that was one, like someone commented earlier how the humor was very 90s. And yes, it was. But there was like that one scene where the guy playing Rick Darris just straight up says, I can't say this. This is not. And it's like, he had no problem with it back in 94. And, that's kind of the, I guess, a little commentary on how comedy has changed in 20 years.
Yeah, you had a lot more freedoms in the 90s than you do now.
I mean, to me, the whole of it, I think production for this is about the callbacks, about the people they were able to get coming back. I mean, like I say, I still think Ben Affleck and some of the people in there were hilarious.
What did he call himself? Boston John, I think was.
And I look at this and I think about it. I mean, you can tell what the ages were. I mean, Clerks was done in an age where you still had to be very careful about what you said. The 90s were high censorship time, and people don't realize that. It's kind of funny that like the group that was trying to censor things now is they've switched sides with the group that's trying to censor things then.
Right.
But if you look at like the 2000s, yes, the 2000s ones, Clerks 2 and Jan Silent Bob Strike Back, they were at that time when everything was about how offensive can we make this? Because you could get away with near anything. Freedom of speech was at its peak, for better or for worse, at that time in the
back then,
in the aughts. Yep. Because you could say anything.
You could literally do anything and get away with it.
It's a pendulum. It goes back and forth and back and forth. like there was some stuff going on in the 80s that you're like, holy crap. And that's probably why the 90s were so,
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, when you got to the late 2000 teens, then again, you had to be careful what you said.
Oh yeah.
Which you still do today to a degree, but I'm sure that it'll switch over eventually. But yeah,
Oh.
that's where you got like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. You couldn't do Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back today.
No.
Yeah,
You
censorship
couldn't really
is
do
always
Clerks 2 today.
censorship is always a one-way trolley.
Mhm.
But again, you couldn't do Clerks 2 in the 90s. You couldn't have done Jay and Silent Bob in the 90s. It's all about these things that go. And that's fine. I mean, Clerks 3 had its message and it worked well. I mean, that whole scene where Randall and the second one was talking about things I cannot say because that would probably get us off the air. That would definitely not fly today. But yeah, the whole thing, I think, at the end of it, I mean, I look at this, you can definitely feel your own mortality watching this. I mean, I'm in the same generation that they are. I'm just in the younger portion of that generation. But, you know, I mean, it still hits home. I mean,
Sure.
I just found out in the news as it was flashing over that Bruce Campbell has untreatable cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of I mean, it says that he's not dying, so to speak, at this point, but
Still, I mean,
it's one of those that they has to maintain, but it's
Yeah.
you know, catch up to him. It's you know, that mortality is, you know, there, and that's a guy that I would have considered invincible in a lot of ways back in when I was young.
Right.
Yeah, you'd think he would take his chainsaw arm to his grave, but
But he might, you never know.
Yeah. I think if there's there's anyone who's likely to rise again.
But I guess let's get to the last part of this, which is music. This one had a lot of callbacks to the Askewverse musically as well as thematically, especially the ending theme, which is
although I
call
was
to
kind
New
of
Jersey
missing,
people.
I was kind of missing Jay and Silent Bob dancing to the Silence of the Lambs music.
Well, what was the one that played over? Was it that I'm from New Jersey? Was that the one from the final?
Yeah.
Because it really, that kind of throws the callback idea away a little bit because he ended the other ones with Soul Asylum films. I can't.
According to him, that's what he wanted to end with originally. So
okay, and definitely, it certainly makes sense thematically. It is a little bit different in some ways. And then, of course, we get more music from King Diamond. I think they've been in a couple of the films, and apparently, a couple of Elias's outfits were taken from King Diamond's look, I guess. And we got that one Starship song. We got some good music in here. Definitely.
I definitely think he got a couple of his outfits from King Diamond. I've seen King Diamond's outfits.
I think that this is one that I would definitely, if you could get all the songs on the soundtrack, it would be a cool soundtrack to have and spin up.
Right.
Because I remember that the award that you originally did when we had our failed attempt, we made like 3 or 4 attempts at the Versus Awards to make it something, and the people said no.
Yeah.
But we did make a try, and our last one, and I still say, if you want to go to our channel and you want to see an award show where we went all out trying to make it as fun as possible, to check out our last Versus Award show. I'm proud of what we put together there, because we did a lot of work on that one. I stuffed Jake into a cat carrier and took him to California on Spirit Airlines.
As you do.
But with this, yeah, I think that this is one of those that with the themes that you can definitely feel it. And I do think that I don't say it lightly when I say it's one of those I would definitely love to have as a soundtrack. Well, any other thoughts on the soundtrack?
No, but I think the soundtrack was actually pretty cool. So,
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too. There were some. I didn't recognize all of them, but I did recognize quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a slightly different era than you guys. Just slightly. So.
Well, but you are in the same generation that they are, so it's just different.
I'm slightly out of theirs too. So.
Well, I mean, I think you're Gen X, aren't you?
I don't know. I'm 54.
I mean, you were born after 65, so.
I'm born in 72.
Yeah, so yeah, you're in the same generation they are. It's just different parts of the generation. I think you were a central Gen X. I'm younger Gen X. Actually, you're probably in the same generation they are because they were in there when they did this film. Let me see. I can find this out real easy. Kevin Smith, age 55.
Oh,
so there you
okay.
go.
Yeah,
So,
we're only a year apart.
I was going to say you could probably identify with these people right there. I mean, you were in the ability to, if you wanted to, you could have seen most of the Star Wars. You would have been probably too young to really enjoy A New Hope, but still,
I remember the first Star Wars movie I saw though was Empire, and I convinced my great grandmother to take me to it. Oh boy, she was nice and everything, but Chewie scared her at first, and she's like, "Okay, we're not going to anything like that ever again, okay?" And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry, Nana."
You could have gone to A New Hope, but you'd have been like 5. Meanwhile, I could have seen Return of the Jedi in theaters, but I would have been very young.
I was young when I saw Empire. I don't know how I convinced her to take me to it, but I did.
That's the thing is, it's kind of interesting to see that Gen X is a weird generation because it's a generation that time forgot for the most part.
Well, you got to remember, she had took me to see Song of the South.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Fox and the Hound. And she took me to all these nice cutie movies and stuff. And I'm like, and for some reason I wanted to see this. She took me.
But yeah, we're the next aging generation. Like I say, I'm at the tail end of it. I'm not gonna lie, but I was born in the 70s. So but it's kind of interesting because a lot of that same cultural stuff, and of course the older millennials also kind of can identify with that as well. I'm not gonna.
David, you're the youngest, aren't you?
Probably.
And Dave's a millennial, so but unfortunately, y'all's generation is also getting older. And Gen Z is right now the 20-something to late teen generation at this point.
Yeah, David was born in 84, so I think he's the youngest.
I think all the millennials are in their 30s now, safely secured. Let's see. No, the last millennial was born in 96. So yeah. Well. So yeah.
There you go.
I'll suck my binky with pride, okay?
The youngest millennial would be 29, but after this year, they ain't gonna be 20s anymore.
What year were you born in, Justin?
I was born in 89.
See, millennial.
So David is the youngest.
That would be me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because he's 5 years older than me.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Wrong. I was thinking the wrong way. Sorry.
But again, to me, I think that millennials and Gen Xers have a lot in common in many ways. The older Gen Xers, typically.
The
ones that were born in the late 90s are more in common with early Gen Zers.
Yep.
But still, there's a lot of cultural relevance. I mean, they're the ones that a lot of times the older the older millennials and the Gen Xers, they're the ones that saw the Star Wars movies. They're the ones that grew up more with the originals. They weren't the ones who were kids when the prequels came out. They were so many of them could understand Randall's way of thinking. And and a lot of the soundtrack kind of hits me because a lot of the stuff that they play, especially when they open up with Black Parade, that was when I was in my 20s. That was when I was in the prime of my life with music, which is kind of fun in that way.
I do have to say about them and stuff is like I could see because of my age and stuff. I could see a lot of people that did act like them at that time. You know, I did know people that acted like them. You know,
Sure.
You know, sometimes I hate to admit that I was actually friends with some people that acted like them back at that time. You know,
Kevin Smith's one of those people. I think that most of us, if we had known him at the time when we were in that generation, or if we grew up in his high school, we probably would have been friends with him or been in his friend.
For sure. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of similarities. I mean, I was a comic book nerd when I was his age. Well, guess what? He was a comic book nerd too, so we would have definitely got along. We probably would have had our Marvel versus DC moment, but that would be more of like a friendly rivalry type thing.
But I knew a lot of young people that worked at like gas stations and young and worked at the video stores and stuff like that. You know, there was a lot of people that were like my age that worked at these places and stuff. You know, and a lot of them that didn't take it very seriously either.
Oh yeah.
The stories I could tell from working at the Arby's when I did, it's like humanity can't be that stupid. Oh yes, it can.
Hold my beer.
Would you say Arby's is higher quality than movies though?
Well, it depends. I was at an Arby's that was a gas station that was paired with a Baskin Robbins. So
wow.
And it was also in the middle of a no account place. You've been to Covington, you know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Well, see, my first job, I was a line cook at, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Chi-Chi's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was I was 16. That was my first job. And our boss was really cool and stuff. When it was break time, my boyfriend had got me the job. When it was break time, the three of us would go out back and
yes.
have those naughty cigarettes.
Yep.
I have.
Then we go back to work.
Yep.
His boss is going out there with us. Our boss is going out there with us. You know.
All right, he's the cool boss. Yeah.
And then we had a guy that was stealing stuff out of people's stealing cigarettes out of people's jackets, and I had a satin jacket, and he worked with sour cream all the time, and there was sour cream on my jacket, and I knew it was him. So I got a hold of these little they were little sticks, and if they would go off like a boom, like a firecracker. So we set them up. Everybody took their cigarettes with them except for me, and I left so many in my pack, and I stuck these little things in the damn cigarettes, and we all saw him go back there, and because you could actually smoke cigarettes though, in the break room, you know. Also, we hear this. And we're all just laughing our asses off. He comes back and we're like, yeah, busted, dude. You know, but you got away with crap like that back then. You know.
Oh yeah.
This is the back. We're supposed to be making food for customers. You know, and we're catching a guy stealing cigarettes and making them blow up. Okay.
Shoot.
That's like the just I was thinking the same thing. I had that work related issue too. It's like, now every day you have to verify the age to buy cough syrup because everybody's doing stuff with cough syrups, and apparently glue is a thing now. You can't buy glue without verifying that you're old enough to buy glue.
No, because there are some people who are out there that sniff it.
I know. Well,
And
my whole thing was this. I'm like, and I say this in jest. I don't mean this to be. I don't advocate it, but like can't these kids just do drugs like normal? Why do you have to
No.
do like the fun stuff? Like, why do you have to do like? Yes, we all sniff markers and stuff, but why do you have to go like they're going with really weird things? I just don't understand this generation now. Like,
Well,
because they want to get creative with it and find a different way to get high.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
it is kind of weird that they have to be like, oh, well, kids might do this, so like one of the few times as an adult that I got carded at Walmart, I was buying spray paint. I'm like, I'm a freaking adult.
Yeah.
I'm buying spray
my,
paint. What?
well, like I understand what you're saying. One of my meds I had been on for a couple years. All of a sudden, they say we need ID for that. I'm like, what?
Since when?
They can be used. It can be. It's considered a controlled substance now, and I'm like, it's what?
It's
I
will tell you.
They're like,
Okay.
so I went home and checked out a photo. Oh yeah. People are sitting there grinding it up and sniffing up their damn nose,
Yep.
And it's like, and then they're saying, oh, they're getting high off of like 300 milligrams of the stuff, and I'm looking at my bottle going, well, shit. I take 2 of these a day. That's 600 damn milligrams. How come I'm not getting high?
Yeah, right. When you take it for,
go ahead.
Huh?
no, I was gonna say when you take it for real purposes, nothing happens. But like when you find the creative ways. Of course, I'm saying it now. Like one of these days, we'll hear on the news when somebody's kid shows up in the hospital with their noses and their other orifices like glued shut. Like, gee, I wonder what you were doing with the glue.
I mean, as somebody who works, and I mean, my full-time work has always been mental health and substance use. I've worked in the field of therapy for multiple decades now, and that makes me feel much older. But Triple C is a good example. That's old.
Yeah.
Triple C is old, but that's taking a bunch of cold medicine until you get high.
Yeah.
And
you're getting into that because I was going to mention that during my high school days, I heard I've actually known people who would take the Robitussin DM, mix it
that's right there,
mix it with ginger ale, and get a buzz like nothing else.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I've seen so many things in my time when I've worked at, but I will still say that all the time I have worked, and I work with people who have tried to kill me. I have worked with people who have tried to kill other people. I've worked with people themselves, and I have seen things that I would never wish on anybody. And I will tell you right now that those people pale in comparison to the people I saw working at Arby's. So I will say it to this day. I will rather work with the population I've worked with when I was working in emergency services for mental health. And I did 20 years in emergency services, working at hospitals, which COVID killed that for me eventually. And I was able to get enough money to get away from it. I finally got away from it. But working with people, when you got to see people dying of COVID on the floor, it just messes with you.
That's no joke, yeah.
But I will tell you right now, even to this day, all the people I have worked with, those people I worked with when I did customer service is there's no comparison. I would rather work with the worst I have ever worked with in mental health any day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. I know you were probably trying to tell some of the stuff because you worked at stuff for years when you were doing that. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Did you have anything that you wanted to say? I know you got cut off earlier.
Oh, I was just gonna say, working with the public is a whole nother situation. I've done it for many years, many different jobs.
Yep.
And you see many, many, many different things. But I
Yeah,
tell you, the best job I ever had working with the public though was when I bartended, because you know what? When somebody pissed me off, I could tell them, and I could tell them where to go, and I couldn't get in
Yeah.
trouble for it because,
Yeah.
yep, there something when you're bartending, the bosses don't tell your the bosses for the most part don't care if you say get the fuck out of my bar. You know?
Exactly.
it's
So-
probably going to depend very much on where you worked. I worked bartending in a small franchise, and they, I think, probably were a little more hard nosed about that than some companies would be.
I know they didn't at the country.
Your normal beer and shot bar, your normal little beer and shot bar. Okay,
Right.
anything goes basically. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Especially if it's like all bar, I would imagine you probably have a lot more leeway than if it's like a bar/restaurant. Or
Oh no,
That's
it was
trying to gain
basically-
clientele.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically all bar, except for the occasional frozen pizza. You know.
Right.
Well,
Good old days.
well, I guess we'll move on. Actually, no. Like I say, I know we cut you off, Jake. Did you have anything you wanted to say about your experience before we move on?
As far as
Because I know you. I think you were going to say something, and then we cut you off. And I apologize. I never got back.
I
to
don't know. I've got a lot of stories. I don't know if I should share many of them on the
Because I know you've worked customer service a long time, and you probably know.
Yes, in many.
Oh, please do. Please share. Yeah.
I've worked many different customer service areas, straight retail. I've worked, in a restaurant in most capacities, including bartending, table waiting, hosting. I've worked other front-facing jobs, and yeah, you will definitely see some stuff that makes you go, "The hell's wrong with people?"
Yep.
You will also see good things. You see both sides of it. And, if it was all bad, I would never do it. But it's
True.
you definitely do see some stuff that you're like, really? And sometimes it's like so stupid it's funny, and sometimes it's so stupid it just makes you wonder for humanity.
Hey, I worked for Popeyes for 5 years, and one of the managers that I worked under, he knew one of the local drug people, and he shut the place down one night, and he literally gave them like a ton of chicken, and we each got like $20 or whatnot or for it. But,
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I knew the one of the drug kingpins in Emporia when I worked at, not customer service when I worked mental health.
I was gonna say, okay, wait, hell.
But I mean, I knew several people. I knew a lot of it, but that would be the one of the weird things. You see people doing a drug deal when I would come by, and they would know who I was because they were told to, give this person a pass. So they would be like, they wave at me all friendly. I noticed they're doing a drug deal, and I'd be like, hey, and then way back kind of awkwardly as I moved by. I was
Keep
like,
walking.
yep, that drug deal going on. I just have to ignore it.
No big deal. Just keep walking. Yep.
Try going out with an outlaw's son.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was very interesting, and his father was known as a hitman.
Wow.
That was fun.
I think that's the interesting thing. When you think about it, I know that at the end of the day, a lot of this type of discussion, it kind of makes you feel old as you've been through. But
Oh yeah.
But if you look at it, we've all had stories that we can tell.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what life is. We absorb stories, we absorb experiences. That's who we are. As a therapist, that's part of my job, is to tell stories and to listen to stories and to understand them. And I think that's something that we all have. We all gain wisdom, for a better lack of the word, I guess, if we learn from our losses anyway.
That's what counts. Yep.
And And even people like Randall or Dante, yes, they watched life go by, and that's part of the movie concept is, you know, watch life, but you didn't do. But Randall eventually did do something once he had that triggering moment. And the triggering moment really wasn't the death. I mean, it wasn't his heart attack. It was the death of his best friend.
Right.
That finally moved him to do something.
Yeah.
But I think it's time that we move on, unless somebody has something that they really need to.
Yep, before Brandon turns into a pumpkin.
So let's talk about a couple things. Of course, we always end this with favorite scenes and favorite character, but also what is your favorite Kevin Smith movie? We've been through this Kevin Smith journey, and for the most part, we are at the end of the Askew-averse journey. We may return. We've got 2 movies left to cover in the Askew-averse, but we've already covered Mallrats in an earlier episode, though Tammy never got to see it. And I'd love to watch my Arrow version of it.
Which means there might actually be a time to return to it, since she wasn't involved in the original discussion. So
I keep forgetting, was that on this channel or in Delusions?
That was on this channel, yes.
Okay.
And of course, we have never covered Chasing Amy.
Right.
But at the same time, there's stoner comedies that I'd love to cover, like some of the Harold and Kumar. We've never covered a Cheech and Chong movie, you know, things like that.
Yes.
Very
strange. But let's talk about those favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll start with you, Tammy. What is your favorite A, scene, B, character from this, and then C, what's your favorite Kevin Smith movie? You've watched a number of them so far, so you should have enough to be able to put it. And you can count the Clerks animated series if you, for some reason, think that's the best. I don't think you will. You know?
No.
Is it safe?
I guess my favorite scene, I guess, is when he has his heart attack. You know, he's finally had enough. Okay, and he just goes on his rant. You know, and you know, it was very powerful. You know, I really liked. That was like my favorite scene, I think. My favorite character has always been Silent Bob. Dante's always been like number 2, but Silent Bob's always been my favorite. Favorite movie? Jesus, man.
A favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it can't be Jesus. It's Satan that's powering everything in this movie.
I'm trying to remember which one. I'm trying which man. I think it's the second Jay and Silent Bob one.
The reboot. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, I'm sure Kevin Smith would love to hear that.
They're both being contrarians.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, actually, Justin, why don't we go to you? Your favorite scene, favorite character, and favorite Kevin Smith film. It doesn't have to be a Spielverse. It's whatever you feel.
Okay. So for me, there's a lot of good ones, but I think the scene, though, I really like the Justin Long moment just because I always like when you have actors that do like these cameos, and just that whole interaction there was pretty hysterical, and especially the part he's like, "No, I'm not dropping my underwear. Let me pull the curtain a little bit more. There you go, more privacy. Oh yeah, thanks." Like it does nothing. So that had to be favorite. Character is tough. I really like the cast as a whole just because the ensemble, but I really liked. I can't think of their names of the characters that do the. It's like Silent Bob but it's like the characters inside the characters there. I thought that's really funny when you do like a parody sort of thing. So I would probably go. Although I did like Randall too. I liked his story there too, and especially how just the comedy and just what he kind of offers there, and just the relationship that he has there too. So I think that I would probably say him. And And then Kevin Smith, for movies, I really haven't seen a lot of movies with either have Kevin Smith involved. I probably would say the only thing that I really did like, and this is going to really date me, and I can't remember the name of the show, it was the comic show that he did, the late night that talk show. They did the comic book. Yeah, Comic Book Man. That's really the only thing I've really ever seen him on. So I don't know if you would technically count that. I did enjoy it when I watched it. I thought it was really interesting. I tried to catch it much as I could, even though it was on late night. And I know that goes back a little ways now, but that was something I really thoroughly enjoyed. And because I haven't really, I probably will go back now and watch it, but I haven't even seen like any of the other films, so I'll probably have to catch up with those. But I would have to say, yeah, Comic Book Man would be my pick if you want to count that.
I mean, if anything, hopefully this experience will have left you like at least curious about some of the films.
It really has. Yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, I want to go back and watch this one again. But I think I will. I want to go back, and I'm one of those like kind of like the Marvel films too. I like to go universally like through like the timeline, how it should go to kind of make sense with the whole big picture. So that's going to be a fun project.
He likes to reward people who have watched his films with a lot of those little Easter eggs.
Yeah, I love those. So that'll be great. That's going to be fun. So that's going to be on my to-do list.
So let's see here. Jake, what about yours?
Okay. Sorry, I was distracted. I was trying to look up Comic Book Men to see what his direct role was. I think he produced it.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He was definitely in it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So.
I was reminded that Moose Jaws was supposed to come out last year, but I don't know.
Well, Moose Jaws has been supposed to have coming out every year for a long time. So
I don't know
if that ever comes out.
Maybe this year.
I hope it eventually does.
It has an IMDb rating, so apparently someone somewhere has seen it.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's that?
NFT investor.
So you said okay.
Favorite scene, favorite character, and favorite Kevin Smith film.
I've got to say, like, the scene that really hit me the most, like really gave me the feels, was when Randall was giving his eulogy and said he's not even supposed to be here today. I thought that was a great moment. Mm-hmm. And overall, I really enjoyed a lot of the callback moments. Like, I really did enjoy the two parts in the movie where Silent Bob speaks, the part where he's describing how he wants to do the cinematography, and the part where he takes over for Jay and reads the line from the original film. And I really enjoyed the audition scene because I did enjoy all those cameos. I thought that was really fun. As far as favorite character, I do have to agree. If you look at the franchise as a whole, Silent Bob is one of my favorite characters. If you can whittle it down to just this movie, he might still be my favorite. But this movie really is the one where Dante goes from being whiny and a little bit selfish to being much more the put-upon guy that you really, really can empathize with. Like, I can empathize with him in the previous films, but I feel like in this one you really empathize with. So I'd probably give him the slight edge there. And I will say Randall has largely redeemed himself after Clerks 2.
Yeah.
But at least by the end of the film. Like I said, most of the characters I did like them better than a few of the previous ones. So I guess that wasn't a very clear answer, but it is an ensemble film. And of course, I love Becky. I love her, and even as a Force ghost, she's still a fun character. So
all of them. So all of them.
So all of them.
Close
too.
to them.
Yep.
The only major new character in this one is Blockchain, and yeah, he didn't really leave a huge impression other than being Elias's Silent Bob. But another favorite moment is when they've got that enormous joint, and Jay's like, it needs more weed. But
Well, they built up to that one.
what's that?
They built up to that
They
moment.
did.
Yep.
It built up. So it's a good. Like I said, there's a lot of good. I always say that, but anyway, as far as Kevin Smith movies, I think we did this on one of the previous ones, and I don't know that my answer will be a lot different. Again, there was a time when Chasing Amy was the clear favorite, but it's also one of the ones that is the foggiest in my memory. So if I were to say Chasing Amy, take that with a grain of salt. As far as the ones that are fresher in my memory, it's a toss-up between the original Clerks and Dogma. But this one's actually pretty high on the list. Yeah.
Which is good praise considering all things.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Dave.
Okay. Talk about favorite scenes. Okay. So I do like that Justin Long segue. But every time I think about Justin Long, I'm either thinking about the holes that Jeepers Creepers dude
Jeepers
made.
Creepers, yep.
Made in him, and you have to see Kevin Smith's Mr. Tusk.
Mr. Tusk. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because
wasn't Tusk the first Kevin Smith movie we did on this channel?
yes, Tusk was the first one that we did on this channel.
Oh, okay.
And that's the one that, where Justin Long gets turned into a walrus.
The walrus. Yeah. I read about that one. Okay.
And so every time I think about Justin Long, I think about him like at the end of Jeepers Creepers and
Yep.
at the end of Tusk. So to me, whenever he shows up in the movie, it's kind of comical. But
I always think of Waiting.
my other favorites two scenes are when Dante definitely does give his whole speech, has his heart attack, and then he's in the theater watching the movie. But the other one that I like is the old lady who comes into the porn shop. She comes in as Lucy. For some reason that just is a little comical to me. So it's a favorite scene for me. Favorite character. It's in between. You know what? Even though I like Silent Bob, I've always had a fondness for Jay. Specifically because he's just out there. If you're looking at him throughout the franchise, he's the weirdo of the group.
Yep.
He's the weirdo out there, and I don't care if he was fucking shy in the very beginning. He is fucking out there. Now, I have actually been party to some of his online gaming streams.
Wow.
Without him knowing it, of course, because he has them open and people can comment like while he's gaming and shit. It's just hilarious to hear his voice while he's gaming, you know.
Wow.
But that being said, that's pretty much there. Now, my favorite Askew-verse movie is. Now, is Tusk considered an Askew-verse?
No, but it's any Kevin Smith, Kevin Smith directed film, or I'll say even Kevin Smith.
I would say on even keel in his horror trilogy, Tusk is my favorite. On his comedy scale, Mallrats is my jam. So.
Okay.
Tusk is too body horror for me, but I understand.
Yeah, I'll give it that. It was interesting.
I prefer the graphic over many things for some reason. The shock value, but
it definitely has that. Yeah.
Dave reminded me of a question I meant to ask during production, and I don't think I did. Do we know if the cinema scene is filmed at Smodcast Cinemas? It would make sense.
I don't know.
But that would be an interesting callback to his other ventures, if that is the case.
I know he tried to hit as many of his previous haunts as possible.
Right.
But, yeah, a lot of problems were that I was meaning to do this yesterday when I watched it because I wanted to get all the extra features and stuff. But then I ended up getting bogged down in my reshuffling of my movie collection. So I tried to watch it today, but then I realized, I'm interviewing new people for work. So I managed to watch the movie and a little bit of the extras where I wanted to watch all of them.
You got more than I did.
But, as far as my favorite scene, I love the Dante speech. To me, it hits more powerfully when you know that that's the last speech he's giving. And I also thought it was interesting because it came as an epiphany this time. It didn't hit me the first time. About how different this is. It seems like the same thing because at the end of each Clerks movie, Dante does this rant. But it's not the same because every time Dante does the rant, he's being selfish for the entire film, and he doesn't realize that. And Randall's the one who has to point it out. Randall's like, yeah, I'm selfish, but I own up to being selfish. I'm an asshole, but, I know that. But this time it's Randall that doesn't realize he's being the asshole and Dante who is being selfless. And that really brought it home to me in that scene. And with that, not only was it well acted, but it just it hit at the end with Dante, even though his last line was technically, I trust the director, but his last actual living line was it wasn't even supposed to be here. Which I did like how they ended that. As far as my favorite character, I don't know why I've always been partial to Jay. I mean, I've been told that Jake and I are like Jay and Silent Bob, and I am the Jay apparently. Silent Bob. But Jay has always managed to make me laugh, and I like Jason Mewes' stuff. I mean, Madness to the Method was a great movie. Drawing Flies was a great movie. So, some fun stuff. As far as my favorite films, I would normally say Mallrats, but I'm just going to come out and say it, that Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is my favorite Kevin Smith film. The reason why I have never said that, I think, is because I've always been ashamed that's my favorite Kevin Smith film.
Well,
could it be that the Joker having to go up against Crankman was the secret reason why you enjoy the film?
I mean, I've dealt with chronic depression over the years, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back have helped bring me out of depressions more often than not, because it is that junk food that you kind of crave when you need something to just bring you out of that horrible negativity loop. A deep film will not do that. A deep film will bury you deeper into that negativity loop. But or you won't be able to concentrate on it, and then you'll hate yourself more. So again, it'll still bury you deeper.
But in fairness, it is not a bad film. It's a pretty good film.
It's a fun film.
Yes.
And there's no harm in enjoying something that surface level. So, I would say that is my favorite Kevin Smith film. There are a lot of ones that I love. I love most of them, as a matter of fact. I don't really love, what was the one, the buddy cop movie, the
Cop Out?
Was it Cop Out?
Cop Out was kind of lame, but, for the most part, I don't mind. Even Yoga Hosers is watchable. I think it's
iffy at that.
You got German sausage people who like to jump up people's asses to kill them, but
Aside from that, yeah.
And that's the plus of the movie, yeah, really.
Oh, well.
But I mean, a lot of his stuff. I mean, Zach and Mary Make a Porno. Nobody talks about that.
That's a good movie.
It's
I
a shame.
forget
have it
about
in
that
my
one,
collection. I just haven't.
They
watched
did.
it.
They did kind of briefly reference it with the Seth Rogen aside in this movie.
But that's the thing, is nobody really talks about that movie, which is sad because it is a good movie. He did a really good job.
And it is fun. It's a very fun movie. It's very.
I mean, I haven't seen the 420 movie yet, so that might be my favorite.
I need to see that soon. I have a copy.
But that's the thing is, I mean, I think that a lot of his films are there, but yeah, Jay and Silent Bob definitely is my number.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it for the.
I did have one thought. We were going through that. And I'm sorry, I'll just throw out. But one last callback. Again, the movie's so full of them, but I feel like this one's a really big one thematically, and that is that from the very first movie, there's been the whole thing, and I think it was the big argument between Dante and Randall, where Randall just straight up said, "Your whole life, you never," or no, Dante gives this horrible story about how he shot himself, instead of, and then there's the whole shit or get off the pot, and it keeps coming back to that and keeps coming back to that. And you could say that when he finally gets up and walks out of the theater in his mind, that's like him finally choosing something, like fully choosing to get off the pot. So that's the way I think of it. So.
All right. Well, that is actually the end of Clerks month. It was a long month.
Yeah.
We reached the end of it, and now we can move into Muppet March, which I will introduce more once we get through the outros. But I will hand that back to Dave for that.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for following along with us. If you have been, if you haven't seen the movie, go out and see it first, then come back and listen to our discussion. And I'm sure that you can let us know whether you thought our discussion was a-okay or if it was pretty shitty. But if not, or what was or wasn't, it doesn't matter. We're doing this for the hell of it. So, and we're not doing this for you, but we're doing this for us. It's our therapy, seriously. But in any case, I want to thank you all for coming out with me. But let us tell them a little bit of the audience, not us, because we know who we are. But let us tell the audience a little bit about ourselves and what we do. I'm going to start with you, Justin, since you probably have a few avenues that you are a part of, and you can tell us a little bit more about them.
Sure. So myself and a good friend of mine, we decided to do podcasting actually back. The origin story kind of starts during COVID. But he had essentially done some before. I was interested in doing it, so we kind of sort of put our heads together and became the dynamic duo bit that we have. We like to tease and say we want to do kind of like the Wayne's World effect. So we're trying to recreate the comedic outlook and entertainment for folks, which led to what we call our production group. It's J&J Production Studios there, which is kind of a project that developed where we realized we had so many ideas to do that we had to formulate multiple shows. So we condensed that into our production that we had there. Which we've been doing that for about, I think this is year 4 now. I kind of lose track of time. It kind of all blends together after a while. But, and then through that, we began to meet and talk with, we collab with other friends. We got on other shows. We started meeting other people, networking wise. And then the project that we had determined to do in an effort to see if we could get others involved, that our goal is to try to help. The mission is to help everybody have some bit of success, whatever their goals are. We created the network idea, which is a newest development that we had that actually technically started this year, since we're now in the new calendar year. And basically, it was just a way to recruit and have other talent people join us, other people that weren't sure if they needed help anywhere, where they wanted to go, a way to kind of share audiences and kind of blend things together to kind of help all of us get to really achieve our own individual goals and as a group, and different things that we were looking for. We found that we had a lot of people that had the same ideas that we had, so that kind of began to take off. Obviously, from you guys know, have met and talked to Bill. Bill has been a big help with that as well. We got to meet him, so that really kind of launched a lot of things this year. We launched a couple of new shows because of that. Actually, one hasn't launched yet. It's going to launch potentially this week. So that kind of has taken off. But I've really enjoyed doing that. Again, I've had a lot of great friends. We have some friends who are mentors that kind of helped do this. I got really involved. Me personally, my skill set was more the production side. So I do a lot of the production. I do a lot of the social media stuff. I am pretty much, you could say, I guess, the brains of that operation there. Some of the others are the face of the talent, but I'm more of the behind the scenes, the go-to person. So I wear a lot of hats, do a lot of things. And amongst everything else I do on a normal basis, but it's been very good. It's been very rewarding. And so we've had a lot of great feedback from the different shows. We feature a lot of different things, from sports to, we do reviews very similar like here. Sometimes movies, we do video games, things like that. Really just anything and everything that we can talk about. We'll just like to have some fun with that. And so we try to make it fun and lay back for the audience that likes to listen to it. So that's kind of really been our main project. And we've had a lot of great success from that thus far. And we're looking forward to, we always say, new year, new opportunities. So you guys have a chance to check it out, please feel free to do so. There's hopefully a lot for everybody and something for everyone is kind of our motto and our goal. So we hope everybody will find something that you like. But yeah, that keeps me pretty busy, I will say.
Alrighty. Heading over to Jake. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself and what you do?
Hi, I am Kotobukijake. I am the sometime co-host of SeptumSin versus the World. And we last week did our animation anticlimax, our monthly discussion, where it being my birthday month, we covered Natsuki Takaya's Fruits Basket, the relatively recent remake of the series, season 1. Hopefully we'll eventually get to seasons 2 and 3, but we definitely got the first part done. We had a pretty good discussion on that. And of course, we've got a lot of pickup videos. Of course, Brandon will probably go into more detail there, but I have scaled way back on my collecting, but I am in an active phase of trying to convert DVDs to Blu-ray to save space and also have things a little more sturdy, supposedly. So I do have a lot of pickups to show off because I'm doing so many conversions, and with a few occasional new pickups as well. And overall, I've not been doing as much viewing and enjoyment of media lately as I would like, but I've gotten a little bit in. Get out to the movies occasionally, reached 100 on reading the One Piece manga. But I keep very, very busy, and when with work, and when I'm not at work, trying to be very much more active outdoors. And in fact, Saturday I led a nature hike and immediately had a class afterwards. Like that, some of the same people came to bus. So it was great. It was perfect weather to be outside. So it was great. So that's kind of, you're trying to do what you're trying to do. And again, this movie did hit really close to home. I get the idea of like trying to make something of your life, you know. I doubt for me it'll be a movie, but you never know.
Never say never.
Right. But that'll be enough for me for now.
Okay, heading over to you, Tammy. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I go on this channel with David and another one, and watch the movies with everybody and talk about them and listen to everybody's opinions. I get to make my own, and for the most part, it's really enjoyable. It's fun, and in the summertime, I take out my 1972 Grand Prix and have more fun.
Ooh.
And heading over to you, Brandon. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, of course, I'm SeptumSin of SeptumSin versus the World. We like physical media here on our channel, and we like to share the things about that, like picking up different things. Usually we'll do some off-the-walls content. While I'm working on reshuffling my collection, most of it's pickup-related, occasional reviews. But of course, you can check out a lot of our pickup videos. Every Wednesday, we do a pickup video. A lot of times it's just me, but that's because I'm trying to push through a lot of pickups that I have gained over the years because we pick up a limited amount and they build up. But I'm trying to get them all done before I shuffle them all back into the collection's new order. But with that being said, we do a lot of things. Matter of fact, Jake and I are going to be doing that. And if you haven't checked it out, you should check out our movies. I've directed 2, both Anhedenia Project and the Amityville Webcam are available on Konaki, which is in the links down below. And of course, there are other ones such as Dave's films, Kyle's films, and so on. I try to make sure that these independent directors get as much profit out of their movies that they can. We are working on, of course, DV7 right now as a movie. So I've been lucky enough to be tapped for the 7th installment. And if I can chase down enough of the actors that I have for that, I will eventually finish that film. And finally, next month is actually Muppet March, or this month, I really should say. And did you want me to wait until after you're done, Dave, or do you want me
Actually, if you wanted to, go right into it, and then I'll do my spiel.
and then you could say what you wanted for your theme at the end of yours, Dave, for April. So, of course, at the end of the month, we're going to be covering the Muppets, which was the reboot that Disney did, that Jacob will be leading us on that discussion. Then the week prior will be the Great Muppet Caper, which I have put up. Then the Muppet movie that started it all, which was called The Muppet Movie, that Tammy will be leading us on. And then finally, the one for next week, which Dave will be leading, is a kind of more obscure one, which is Tales from Muppet Land, The Muppets Musicians of Bremen. So Dave's going to hit us with that one first as we come in next.
Yeah, because before Jim Henson became mainstream, he actually was doing a lot of TV stuff. And there were 2 obscure... well, there were definitely a few more than that.
Well, he had those creepy coffee commercials.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they haven't gotten really that much physical, really, at least. They're just on YouTube or whatnot. But I remember them as a kid. So, but
you can still get Emmett Otter's Jug Band, which is kind of cool.
Well, and I know that there was another one that he did called like the Easter Picnic something or other, and you know the bunny that shows up as the kid.
Oh yeah, Bean
in the Muppet Christmas Carol. Well, that's where
Bean
he originally started up. So, but in any case, you have anything else?
Oh, that's it.
Alrighty. Well, my name is David Streggy. I'm one of the founding fathers of Inside Movies Galore. And And as you know, we talk about many things, films, and sometimes we end up talking about life in general. But we go on every week and talk about a film that we've chosen for the week, and oftentimes it's under a theme. So, but I do moonlight under a different channel called Delusions of Grandeur, where I occasionally, like Brandon and I did before the show, go on and do some video pickups. At one point in time, I did reviews, but it's hard to find the time to actually do my own. So I end up just doing another podcast on Sundays normally. The only reason why we didn't have it this Sunday is our friend from Croatia that does it with us was out of town. So we'll just pick up where we left off, and I think we're going to be covering Harvey this coming Sunday. So, other than that, Brandon mentioned that some movies are for sale, and that would mean the two anthologies that I ended up putting together with a ton of shorts that came my way, and I ended up doing putting together the wraparounds with Brandon's help with editing, and they are for sale on the Kanaki site. They are called Tales of the Forgotten 1 and 2. They are quite long. In fact, eventually we may break them down into more films, but we'll see what happens. I still have to get it out to other avenues and whatnot. And I have gotten back into behind the scenes, putting our episodes back out to Spotify. At one point in time, we were on Anchor, and then Anchor was bought out by Spotify, and then I had to figure out damn new password and shit, and had to figure out where all my film clips were that I used to use, and finally got them back in order last week. So I'm starting to put our older episodes out, and I've got a ton of interviews out there. I'm at least getting somewhere on the Inside Movies Galore one. The Delusions of Grandeur, that'll have to sit side saddle for right now, but I am trying to get us out to other avenues. It's just I don't think with this new Spotify it allows you to go out to the other avenues like Anchor did. So, which Anchor allowed it to go out to like Apple, iHeart, all that jazz. I don't think it does under this new format. So, I got to figure something out there. But other than that's it. So, Justin, I want to thank you for coming on. Wanted to get to know you a little bit, shoot the shit, and have fun. So,
yeah, I appreciate it. A lot of fun for me too. So thank you.
You're more than welcome to join us at any time you want. If anything, you can. I know we just recently, like a couple of weeks back, just hit 1,000 subs for Inside Movies Galore, and then I think I'm at 805 on the Delusions of Grandeur. So that being said, not having had the other option of Spotify for all these 8 years of being on, that's not bad. So
yeah, that's very good. Yeah, congrats.
But in any case, like, share, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen.
Next month.
Did you have something? Somebody said something?
Next month's theme.
Oh, next month's theme is okay. I was going to say I had it in the back of my mind. Okay, because it has everything to do with April Fools and whatnot, and April is the month. Try to think about something that you feel foolish about life. You know, like a guilty pleasure, like something that you think that somebody else would probably think, oh, that fucking movie is stupid. I hate that movie. But you actually like it.
So what are you calling this?
So feeling foolish, guilty pleasure month.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
well, I definitely have those, the movies that are in that line, but we can't cover Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back again.
No. Oh,
Nope, can't default.
nope. Have to move forward. March on. But in any case, that being said, everyone say good night and happy holidays or whatever if you're having a holiday, because every day seems to be a holiday for something.
Can be if you do it
Yeah,
right.
yesterday apparently was National Dadgum That's Good Day.
Aw, how do I miss these things?
Well, this month is Women's Appreciation Month, so
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, there you go.
Hey,
Perfect.
keep that in mind, David.
I'll forget that I just said that right now, right this moment.
Reboot, factory reset.
All right.
Ah.
Well, then we'll see you all. Good night.
Good night, all.
Night.
Inside movies galore, just makes you just want more. We've had all in the world of media to explore. Horror, anime, or Curious George. Our love of new things was our reward. It is the best night of our week.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.